Bitcoin Live thing takes, because it just seems to take longer and longer each time. Hey, everyone. Welcome to bonus content. I'm Alex O'Neill. I guess we have to specify that here. Scott's here, Nabashin's here, and our guest, Alex Van Aken, is here.
Hey.
Is Van Aken like a one word?
Oh, no, it's two.
So is it like...
David Alexander Van Aken.
Okay. So is it like two last names?
No, it's just one, but there's a space in it.
It's one name, two words.
Correct.
It's not a hyphen.
Think of like a hyphen being there, but the hyphen is invisible. It's the one word.
The hyphen is invisible. That's good. Before we get straight rolling into this bonus content, I do want to take a moment
to go ahead and pick out which names we should be using for you two.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I feel like O'Neill is already complicated enough. There's an apostrophe.
Well, I just call you Neil, and I'd call him Van.
I mean, you can call me Van Aken.
I feel like...
Or Van. When I'm playing games online, people call me Van, and I feel kind of cool.
That does sound cool, for sure. And Neil sounds cool as well.
Because we've had the double Alex thing.
No, we've had the double Scott thing.
We've had a double Alex thing, too.
We have had a double Alex thing in the past. That was a long time ago, though. So we're going to have to bring up...
And double... In the past, double names haven't worked out too well.
I mean, we'll be fine.
Because even when we had the two Scotts, my new name was Other Scott.
That's true. You were officially Other Scott.
Just call me A Swizzy.
A Swizzy. Cool. So we're joined by A Swizzy. No, let's take a moment for a little ad break. I'm going to put up this little thing that I made. Hey, look at this. Hey. If you're watching the video, well, you have to be watching the video of this. So that's why I know you have to be looking at this. If you're not looking at this screen, someone just rang my doorbell again. Who are these people coming to get me?
How many packages do you have coming today?
I don't know. Look at this. Somebody come over here and look at this. I don't actually know how to... There. It's a T-shirt that we made. Well, we didn't make. Roger Picorni made it. I mean, he's very talented. I kind of gave him the rough idea of what I thought would look good, and then he turned it into like a good design. It's
Who
called
is that guy on the shirt?
I don't know. It's probably some kid.
Some like clip art.
Someone who gave me their permission to use their likeness for sure. But yeah, Roger designed this. If you don't know who Roger is, he's at Rajformer, pretty much across the internet. So YouTube, Twitter, whatnot. He's very talented. He's a good kid. You should check him out. And it's called the Irrational Passions #1 fan T-shirt. You can get it teespring.com/IPP2, which is easy enough to remember, through July 21st only. So I don't know if we'll ever resell this one again, because it's kind of more specific. We have a lot of crossover with the kind of funny community. This kind of T-shirt is for them. A lot of people really liked the design. They thought it was cool. So if you'd like to support Irrational Passions, you can go do that. We would very much appreciate it. End ad break. There, I took it off. You don't have to stare at it the whole time, like with the other shirt. Oh, it's worth noting, though, if you missed the shirt that Alex is wearing, other Alex is wearing,
you can't see it, my mic's in the way. But...
A Swizzy is wearing just like the standard IP logo T-shirt. That's going to go up on sale on July 28th, a week after this shirt sale ends. So you'll get another chance to get that one. 2 thumbs up. Cool, cool. Thank you to everyone who's already bought the shirt. Y'all are wonderful. I feel like, should I go see who rang my doorbell? Because no one's knocked or rung it again. Do you think somebody's here to kill me?
Well, I mean, like, if they ring again, just say, hold on 1 minute, I'm going to go check it out.
Okay.
But if they don't bother at this point.
Okay.
I mean, like, at all times, you should go and check this man that just joined out.
It's true. Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Did you see what I was saying in the text thread, Tony?
I was driving, so no.
Okay, I sent a picture to show you what it looked like for us. Tony Horvath's here. This is bonus content.
That is weird.
Yeah, right?
Get your phone out of the thread, but
like
put your
a reference
email
that
in.
literally only 4 of the 5 people here will get.
Yeah, that is weird. Hi, Alex.
Hey, what's up, Tony?
How are you?
I'm good.
You're a
Wait,
weird
you're talking to
treat.
me, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I
Have you
hate
guys-
the other Alex. Fuck him.
By the way, Cam said that Alex O'Neill's name is going to be Alf on this show.
Alf is fine.
Or Alexis. That works. That's the time-honored tradition, calling Alex female names.
That works.
I mean, whatever gets you by. I do.
I'm
look-
just.
I got
I-
this
I-
situation.
Or we could go full Jackbox party pack and all be Alex.
No,
Just
then everyone
me.
would be Alex, and someone would be fuck Danny.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't play Jackbox Party Pack like on a Twitch stream without someone coming into the game as fuck Danny.
Good.
It's pretty amazing.
So,
Yes.
am I interrupting anything?
No, I like you actually came in right at the end of the ad break, so you'd be happy.
Perfect. So, guess
Okay.
what? I have a confession to make.
Okay.
There's a reason why I'm 40 minutes late to this podcast.
He had to go on a walk to
It's
catch
it's
Pokemon.
Pokemon
because
Go.
of this.
It's Pokemon Go.
See, so I left the mall. I got off work at 6,
Uh-huh.
and then I walked around the mall for
Try
like
to catch some
an-
Pidgeys, man.
for like an hour, just catching stuff. And the reason why is because I found a place where there was literally like 36 other people there, all playing this game because someone had put a lure module on two Pokestops right next to each other. So I sat there for like 40 minutes. And then I went to the gym at the mall because I was going to try and claim it for Team Yellow because all the other teams are bitches.
Team Yellow, Team Instinct, what up?
That's right. And then I met some gentlemen over there, and we were hanging out, and we were talking shop about Pokemon. And then I was like, all right, I have to go because I tried to challenge the gym, and then I got the last Pokemon to 1 health, and it got stuck because the servers are still kind of shit. And then I left, and I started driving home, and I stopped at a library,
Here we go.
and I stopped at an apartment complex, and I stopped at the park. I don't remember what that park is called, but it's the one with the dam.
Lake Elkhorn?
Yeah, that one. So I stopped there because there's 2 gyms there, and then and then I was all right. Alex is messaging me about the show. I should go home. So I started driving down the road down the highway towards my house, and then I saw a gym on the side of the road.
Oh my god.
It was in
Cody.
It was in this community. It was around the corner, and I looked at the Pokemon in there, and it was not a Team Yellow gym. So I was like, "Fuck these people! They have to get out." So I got off the highway and went into this back neighborhood where there's a restaurant there, and that restaurant is a gym. So I went there, and there's 2 people sitting on the hill. So I pulled up in my car, and then I started battling the gym. And those people looked at me like instantly as soon as the gym started being battled, and I looked at them,
This is
and I
my
nodded, and then I got the thing to 1 HP, and I disconnected from the server again, and I was like, damn it, it's 7:30, I need to go home. So I plan literally after this show ends to go back there and claim that gym for the glory of Team Yellow.
I mean, here's the thing about Pokemon Go. Because we're in it. This is good bonus content
Yes.
material.
How
And
much
we're
does
going
it
to talk about it
cost?
on the show too. It's free, Scott. It's an iPhone app.
All right, guess who's downloading it right now?
Scott, you have to go outside.
Well, the
to
servers
play
are
this game.
down.
Well, it works for me.
It's territorial
It's tracked when you're
servers,
done.
so
By the
like,
way, look at around my house. There's nothing.
It's okay. I'll bring a baseball bat, and me and you can go walking around together.
yeah,
Dude,
there
let's
you go.
do it after the podcast. Scott, we're
Start
going.
breaking phones out of people's hands.
I'm
No,
not.
okay.
I'm not joking. I would literally go on Pokemon walks with any of you.
So I went out. What were you going to say, Alex? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I've been walking around, checking it
Mhm.
ferociously. I have not seen one Pokemon.
Here's some tips. Keep it open while you're walking around.
I
Yeah.
do. Like I have it open. Still nothing.
Have you tried at
Really?
the mall at least?
Yeah.
Because you must be doing something wrong.
I
because
don't know what I'm doing wrong. All these
Guns.
Ethan, my fucking roommate, sitting in his room, like right down the hall, is like sitting there, and his room is full of rattatas, which is
Yeah.
horribly ironic
Look at all these
considering his
Pokemon.
room is full of actual
Can you see
rats.
this? Can you see this, Alex? Look at all these Pokemon that I caught today.
fantastic.
I see it, and my brother has been going for runs around our neighborhood
Yes.
just to catch
So
Pokemon.
the crazy thing is, if you walk around the mall, which is like the biggest social spot around where Alex and I live,
yeah,
it is insanity how many people are playing the game. And by the way, pretty much every single person at work today was playing.
okay.
I was playing while working.
They weren't playing it the day or the day of
Right,
release
because
when
no one knew about it yet.
when I was in. But I saw like I went up to one of the computers in the back, and it's just an article about Pokemon Go. I'm like, okay.
We talked about it during our meetings today. A higher up in our company issued a video about it that's really good that you should watch.
Okay.
Trying to continue to be vague about our employer still.
Yeah, no, it's good. You're doing good.
But yeah, so that's why I was late to the podcast.
Because you're obsessed with
I have
catching
to
them
be the
all.
best that ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like Scott and I are gonna
or
go.
At least Team Yellow does.
I bought some lure modules. So I'm gonna go.
Oh, you
to
spent real money.
No, if you
Okay.
hold gyms, you get currency.
Okay.
Oh, really?
For each day that you are the gym leader, you get like 10 or 20 coins or whatever. But nuts thing, Alex, it's a Saturday, right? So around at the mall, literally there are like 4 Pokestops in proximity to each other, and all 4 of them had lures on them the entire day. That's how crazy people are.
I guess I'm just playing it wrong.
Yeah, so it's okay. You, me, and Scott, we're going to the lake after the podcast. We're gonna catch Pokemon. At night.
I mean, no, because it'll be like 11 p.m.
Yeah,
at
I'm
night,
going
pitch
anyway.
black.
Yep,
I went out
Scott.
last night at midnight.
See,
And-
tonight's the only night I can actually go out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You went out at midnight to catch Pokemon.
Scott. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going out at midnight after this
It's worth
podcast.
it. Like nocturnal Pokemon
Hey,
come out.
Alex. Hey, Alex.
Oh my god.
We're gonna go for an Onyx near the old rock climbing spot.
I used I got a tweet from Cameron Abbott saying, "Hey, don't be afraid to use an incense."
Yeah,
I used
do
an
that.
incense, still no Pokemon. So
All right, you're doing something wrong.
I think I'm like anti-Pokemon. Like I give off this anti-Pokemon repellent.
So you're like still level 1 and everything?
Yeah, I'm like I've only caught my starter Pokemon.
Okay.
What's your highest CP, Tony?
I'm only level 7, so the maximum that I can have is... Hold on. The maximum that I can have, I have a Fearow that's 400.
Okay.
That's the maximum you can have at level 7. It won't let you make them any stronger.
Something. You don't have enough badges to train me.
I'm almost level 8, though.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm
Novice,
just
how are
hitting
you?
late.
Yeah,
Is Novice here?
I don't know. He might have stepped away.
No, I'm here.
Novice just doesn't like Pokemon.
Pokemon Go has taken over the entire internet.
It's pretty awesome.
It's like a nice thing, but also like a worrisome thing.
You wanna know a really bonus content worthy thing that a fellow employee told me about or showed me at work today?
Sure.
I saw a picture of a lady's rear who was bent over a bed, no clothes on,
Okay.
and there was a Pokemon right in the middle of her butt, and it was like when you're trying to smash, but Pokemon Go.
Oh my god.
It was so good.
Was it a Weedle?
I don't remember.
It wasn't a Weedle.
No, it wasn't a Weedle because that would have been way too good.
So there's one thing kind of secondarily related to Pokemon Go, I guess. But I've been like obsessed with what's it? Brandon Plays Pokemon, the Easy Allies show. I don't know if you watch it all.
I listened to the
Stop
Easy
show.
Allies podcast yesterday.
Cool. I listened to it yesterday as well. Yeah, so like Brandon Jones, one of the folks at Easy Allies and previously Game Trailers, has never played a Pokemon game ever. And it's like obviously it's been a considerable amount of time. So he's like going through Pokemon Red right now and just kind of like recounting his experience in gross detail. He's like he's never seen most of the Pokemon ever. He's never, but he knows he would kind of like that kind of game. So I've been like obsessed with that show. It really makes me want to play a Pokemon game, but I'm trying to hold out so I don't ruin Sun and
I
Moon.
thought about
for
like going on
myself.
Craigslist to get like a DS or a Game Boy just to.
Just get that fix.
Yeah,
Get
now
that
that I have
Poke
it on my
fix.
phone, I
Yeah,
want
dude.
the real experience.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean
haven't
like
yet.
you don't have like a 3DS or anything.
I had one 2 years ago and foolishly sold it, but I got a Vita instead.
Okay, I mean Vita's good handle.
But I'm kind of missing the DS, you know.
Maybe you should see if like there's a Pokemon Sun and Moon 3DS bundle. Get on
Yeah,
there.
or even like I don't really want to go this route, but I think like GameStop or something has like a sale for like a $50 2DS. So even if I got that, you know,
Yeah. It's a Pokemon machine. That's all it needs to
scratch
be.
that itch.
That's all I ever needs to be.
Yeah. What's your favorite Pokemon game, Alex?
Me, Gold for sure.
Okay, that's good.
Just because like at least when I was a kid, like 9, 10, 11, whatever, like I beat the main game, and then you have the entire new area to explore. You go back. So,
No, that's
I always
legit.
enjoyed that.
Gold's
One
a good
of-
answer.
One other dumb thing on the topic of Pokemon Go.
Okay.
I was reading the Pokemon Go Reddit, which is basically I think it's either the third or fourth most active subreddit now, which is
course it is.
nuts. But I saw a post of some guy who was like, "Hey, be careful if you are going outside in like more downtowny areas because they got their phone stolen because they're walking around with their expensive phone out." And then I thought that was kind of shitty, but then the first comment made it all better because it just said, "Well, another attack by Team Rocket."
Oh God!
It was so good.
I don't know if this is the end of the world or truly the beginning.
It is a whole new world.
It is a whole new world.
Also, another cool thing: developers of Pokemon Go, so Niantic. I don't remember what the main guy there's name is, but I saw something that he was like an interview with him, and he said that they are looking into stuff like other AR stuff like Google Glass and whatever the Microsoft thing is called that name escapes me right now, HoloLens.
HoloLens.
Yeah, they're looking into that stuff. So who knows? Maybe you won't have to have your phone and look. You won't have to look through your phone to find stuff anymore. It'll just be there.
Is peer-to-peer battling coming?
Yes,
Okay,
and so is trading.
that's what I thought. Okay.
And they're also apparently Pokestops and gyms are only their very base level of functionality right now. They plan to make them much more interactive and add more stuff to them. So that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Game's cool.
It seems all right. It seems like a novel idea, relatively well adapted to real life.
It's another game that's
Super
just
buggy.
it's just like Ingress, which is a game that came out before, but it's grounded in a subject matter that many more people are familiar with than the entire world is run by viruses. Basically, is what Ingress is about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember Ingress, and I remember trying to play it because I was pretty into Foursquare when that was big. They
yeah,
had, like, a
I bet
connection.
Ingress has got bigger recently
Yeah, I
because
imagine.
you could play both simultaneously because they
Yeah.
use the same portals.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Ingress never hooked for me though, because like Ingress is way more like city driven because you had to go like specific points. Whereas,
It's the same with kind of the same Pokemon.
Yeah, but with Pokemon Go, like you can also just walk around and catch Pokemon.
Certainly can, but you'll run out of Pokeballs eventually.
Yeah, but at least there's like some novelty factor.
I agree.
Right, like it has a little bit more to it.
And then you could buy like 200 more Pokeballs for $8.
Yeah, only $8. What a steal!
I mean, I did see that in the shop, and I was like, it's actually not bad.
Yeah, if this is what Pokemoney translates to real life, and if only we could spend $8 to get super future technology.
That's
that would
right.
put animals in spheres for us.
Yeah, put weird animals in spheres.
I would just capture Gus. He'd be pissed.
Gus would be so mad. This is too small.
Gus is.
There's no
constantly
pizza in here.
furious at me. Yeah, it's
How
like
many Pokeballs would it take to fit Gus into?
at least one great ball.
Well, considering that they put like giant fucking Pokemon like Onyx in one Pokeball, I think you're fine.
Yeah, I know,
Wow.
but like when Gus really stretches out.
But I mean, at the same time, if you're just taking a shitty made replica that doesn't actually do the function, I'm saying like we could probably fit him into 10. But I mean, why would you do that to Gus? Like, why would you
Why
do
would
that?
you do that to Gus? Would you? Is it like Exodia where you have to have all 10 Pokeballs to summon Gus after that point?
No, he'd just be dead.
He'd just be dead. Okay, well, I mean, we don't want to
Took a
kill
dark
Gus.
turn.
I'm
Exactly.
saying like a Master Ball could probably do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one of those.
Yeah, only one per region.
Fair.
Valid. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about, bonus content wise? How's life, Alex?
I've been watching The Bachelorette a lot.
All right. Well, ship it. This
Uh,
bonus content's over. I'm just kidding. How's the Bachelorette?
It's great. JoJo's making some questionable choices, in my opinion. It took a little long to get Chad out of there,
Uh-huh.
but
Is Chad like suspect? Is he
I'm
like-
rooting for JoJo to find love because last season with Ben, she thought she was getting proposed to.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert: she didn't. That's why she's on The Bachelorette.
Again.
And she got her heart broken. Now she's looking to find love
Mm-hmm.
again.
Do you think that you can find love in a house full of overly attractive men?
You probably could, like, even if it wasn't with The Bachelorette, like maybe,
Maybe like
things
on a
can
good
happen.
day. Yeah.
Bachelor in Paradise is where that happens.
Okay.
That's like no whole bar. Like Bachelor in Paradise is nuts and it's coming soon. And I'm excited.
what is like? Give me the elevator pitch for Bachelor in Paradise.
It's a bunch of drunk people on an island hooking up on reality television.
Okay. How
Compared to The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, which they're like, they've
They're
all
like
been
a
the
mansion.
cotillion. They're like very, they're courting each other. Bachelor in Paradise is just like a monster truck rally on the beach with like booze and sex.
It's the Bone Zone if ever there was one.
Pretty much. And the previous contestants come back on for that show.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because
So
it didn't work out, I'm
it's
guessing.
kind of like Survivor Second Chance. I love my reality shows.
How reality is Bachelor Bachelorette, though?
Very reality.
Okay. I
Very
feel like that's
reality.
that would be less reality, but I don't know. I hate reality TV, so.
I've recently, like within the past year, gotten really into it. Before, I didn't touch reality shows, and it's just something about like the chaos. I don't know. Even though it's like watching wrestling, but I love it.
Yeah,
But it's-
that's part of the reason why I never got into wrestling. Also, it's very
I never got into wrestling.
very reality TV. I don't know. Whatever you're into, right?
You should watch it. It's on Hulu.
I probably won't, but
I mean, I'm saying you should though.
it's true. Valid. All right, beats my argument to death.
That's right. You just get fucked.
Tony, you have your camera on.
Yeah.
We can see it.
I had stuff. I know. I figured I'd give you a solid view for the bonus content since I actually had like real clothes on,
Yeah, you
which
decided
isn't
to wear,
normally
like,
the
pants.
case.
Well, yeah,
Actually, yeah, I'm wearing shorts. It's
okay.
weird.
I'm wearing
I had
shorts
this sweet
too.
I'm
Street
wearing
Fighter.
cargo shorts.
I had this sweet Street Fighter shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I noticed it. When did you get that? Was that in your
Yeah,
loot box?
It was.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Tony got on that loot gaming.
Yeah. It was
We
pretty
teased
cool.
that we would open it on the show, but
And then Alex forgot, so I just said fuck him.
yeah, I fell asleep probably. Wherever I was.
Wherever you were, when you're just like, Tony said, sleeping.
And suddenly I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that worked.
I feel like that's usually why you never return my calls.
Yeah, it's why I never return anyone's calls. So the person at my door didn't ring the doorbell again.
Okay.
So it could be another package. But if it is another package, who delivers two different packages back to back like that?
Maybe it's a UPS and then a FedEx.
Yeah,
I mean, don't
but
you know what packages you have come? Well, I guess you have roommates.
I have roommates, right? The first one was for
It's just weird sex swings and stuff.
I mean, you would be surprised.
Just more shipments of Soylent and everything else.
Yeah, it's just 6 more boxes of Soylent because we need to
You have
sustain
Soylent
ourselves.
in your house? Is that
My
what
He
brother
does.
was a Kickstarter backer on Soylent.
Interesting.
So he's got like 4 boxes full
Have you
of
tried any?
Soylent.
Yeah,
I've
I
had
think we've
some.
all tried it.
I haven't had
What's
it
it
made
taste like?
well though. It tastes like brown water. Like it tastes like water.
Like
if you
hot
put,
dog
like-
water?
No, like if you put like
Okay, so
flour
here's
in
what it tastes like. This is what it tastes. It tastes like cake batter if there's no sugar in it.
I guess
Well, I
that's,
have cake batter.
if it's made right, it probably tastes like that.
That's what
Can
that's
you
what
put
it tastes like
spices
when I
and
made it.
stuff in it?
You can put whatever the fuck you want in it. When I made it, because
Like little
Derek,
hot dogs cut up?
Derek, Alex's older brother, gave me one of the sample sets because I was curious. And so I went home and I made it, which first thing I found out, my blender is not big enough to make Soylent because it
What?
overflowed.
Does it like bubble up? Like
No, it's just the amount that you're supposed to make for a day and consume for a day is greater than the volume of my blender, at least my old blender.
The amount being hella.
Yeah, it's a lot. So what I did was I put in all the stuff you're supposed to put in, and then I put in a lot of ice, so it would be more like smoothie-esque, and then I put in
Ugh.
some fresh strawberries, and that was amazing.
is that a thing? Like people who are actually on Soylent, do they put like fruit and stuff in?
Yeah, it's actually encouraged.
Okay. All right.
It's
Yeah.
to make it not
I mean,
taste like nothing, you know?
It like keep in mind like that will add more calories to the perfect calorie count that's Soylent.
Whatever. Who cares? You're already not
mean,
eating garbage, so...
Some people care. It's true. I mean, in a way, you're eating
The alternative is that you're eating like shit garbage food, and instead you're just eating exactly what your body needs. So like if it's exactly what my body needs plus like 6 strawberries, I'm going for it.
Sure. I like
Yeah.
strawberries, so I'd be into it.
I have tried it with nothing else in it, and it tastes vaguely of fish oil and flour.
Yeah, there's an oil you can add to it that has a little fishy in it.
Yeah,
But you don't have to add the oil. So if you're a vegetarian, you can not use that.
and then you have to like I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but I tried it and it was aight.
How's your life, Scott?
That's pretty good.
Scott's like, my life is Pokemon now.
Yeah, right.
Well, I
Scott's
mean, like,
You've been awfully quiet since you
moment
downloaded that
it's
app.
podcast with the kind of a Pokemon undertone.
yeah,
and then
like a very-
immediately following podcast is going to be go to Tony's house, kidnap Alex, go to the park.
Please don't kidnap me. I don't want to go to a park at midnight. Also,
We're going to a park.
that's just like scary. I feel like that's where I
Well, okay, so what if we do this? We'll go to a park,
Here we
come
go.
with, but you don't have to get out of the car.
I mean, as long as like the car is my bedroom at my house and I'm asleep, cool.
Okay, so Tony,
Bring
we
like-
have,
bring like a knife
What
with
we're
you or
going,
something.
what we're going to do is we're going to violate Alex's house contract, and we're going to bring his room with him.
Oh.
I wonder how into that my landlord would be.
He'd not be into it at all, and you'd be paying for
You're
it.
like, but there was
we're
a
doing
Blastoise in there.
Yeah, it's only like what $40,000 to get that fixed. It's fine. I'm just rolling in it, so I have 97 cents to my name until Friday, which is like it's kind of like a challenge. If we want
Yeah.
to talk about like challenge Pokemon Go-esque challenges, this is my challenge.
Okay.
But
You can almost get a Pokeball in the game as a microtransaction.
I could almost get there. Yeah. I have a plan to make some really dope pizza bagels though, so
Yeah.
it's gonna work out. I got the bagels and everything.
Damn. And where's the pizza?
Well, I got pizza sauce and pepperonis and mozzarella cheese.
Damn.
So I'm gonna
You're
make
set.
it. I'm curious, like, would you like toast the bagels a little bit first and then put the sauce and everything on it?
Just do it all in the oven.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it in like a toaster
Oh,
oven.
okay. All right.
Um,
you have a toaster oven. I don't have a toaster oven.
Okay, yeah, it's good for like small pizzas.
So you definitely want to put it in there first, so the bread gets crispy, because you're only gonna have like 2 minutes before the whole thing heats up when you put it in there, like with
Yeah.
the cheese and the sauce.
Good. That's what I thought. Glad I got a second opinion on that. How about we start the real podcast?
Okay.
All of this was fake, Alex. Twist.
What?
Does everybody have their preferred recording platform? Please,
Nope.
please, Tony.
The amount of time that I've been at home.
Well,
is the
I mean,
only time
it's
I've been-
open, and you know what? My sound check is done, and that's becoming like a standard right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're
So I mean, like,
you're setting a
we're
good
good.
precedent, Scott.
I mean,
well, I mean, I lied to you, and that was my sound check.
Okay.
all right, I'm good.
Well, it's done now. And I saw Alex do his earlier. Nabashin, you ready?
Yeah, but
Okay. On 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, I got the Bulbasaur.
Did he hit it on 1, Alex? I don't know.
I got the Bulbasaur on one.
I
On one.
Scott on 1. Not like on go. I know a lot of people do the on go method. I'm not a fan. Actively.
Well, I
against-
mean, like, you're a fan of the Pokemon Go, so I mean,
I'm a
like,
fan of Pokemon Go, but like
You're pretty much a fan of the Go method. Like,
I'm a fan of a
Oh.
different go method. There are multiple go methods.
What's that even mean?
I don't know, actually. I think I'm like in a fugue state right now. I just like tripped and like ended up in a coma or something. My computer is running very slowly. I don't know why.
You should fix that.
It's not easy.
Oh, Alex.
oh yeah, Alex is starting to die.
Alex, you're dead.
Am I dead?
Yeah.
I think Google.
Oh, so dead.
I think Google Chrome just really fucking slowed down because it hates me.
Wild Spearow appeared. Where?
Fuck Spiro.
Dude, he is
That-
Spirit is the worst bird Pokemon.
he has 115 CP though.
I don't care. Spiro has 115 asshole points as well.
AP?
Yeah, AP. What's CP stand for?
Command,
Catching points?
I don't know.
command points.
Okay, fair enough.
Catch 'em on
He said
points?
he said it with a lot of authority, so I have no reason to not believe him.
He commanded it with his authority.
Can you like provide a link
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
to the document?
Again, Google Chrome slowing my computer down. I got it.
Okay, bye, people.
Your boy is in.
Yeah,
Oh, you got it. You got it on the servers. Well,
Boy
thank
is
goodness.
in.
that's right. I popped an incense. I'm ready to hang out, do a podcast.
Let me make sure my sound is off.
You'll know. All right. Are we all ready?
You'll know.
I'll take that as a yes. That we are all ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm busy.
I should tweet this out again. Oh, that's right. I had to close that.
Yo, could you chill, dog?
Is that a dog?
Yeah, it's my dog.
Oh, now I hear
She's
it.
usually very quiet of late, but I don't know what the hell she's doing.
Do you have to banish Gus from your room when you're recording podcasts?
Oh, Gus just shows up whenever the fuck he wants.
I'm like where I'm at. I'm in like the downstairs living room area.
Is that your backyard behind you?
It's
I don't
like
mean to sound
it's
like
like
a
a
stalker,
patio.
Okay.
So it's like there's a deck on the middle floor,
Yeah.
and then there's like a wood patio underneath the deck, and that's what's right out there.
Alex, what games did I play this week?
You might have played more Witcher,
Nope.
Valhalla maybe,
Yep.
Street Fighter V, I imagine, Overwatch. I think I saw you playing something. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, thanks. That was useful.
Yeah, I got you, man. Composing a tweet. Episode 285.
Hey Tony, guess what?
What's up?
The name I have never fails me.
Yeah, well, there's not. I think you could literally pick any name.
No, you can't.
You can. I tried to put Alex in, and it was like, this name's already taken. I'm like, fuck
You're like,
this.
get fucked.
What about your name?
It's never taken anywhere.
Nice.
Oh, you know, my amazing online handle, PussyCaptain695420.
Was there a 420 in there?
Yep. Swaglord 869
Well, I mean, like
big balls.
869 big balls.
All those are great names. Fuck, I should trademark those.
We got a voicemail.
Yeah.
Not from SoulPR.
Man, he's fucking slacking again.
We might also have a voicemail from SoulPR.
Good. I hope so.
Hold on, let me add the doc.
It is so hot in my house.
It's usually really hot in my room. I'm enjoying it not being hot in here right now.
It's 100 degrees here, which is hot for Colorado.
That's very hot.
And I have no AC.
Yeah,
Which is
right, because
great.
it's always cold. It's 85 and humid here right now.
Sounds
Is it
amazing.
wet outside, Tony?
No, it's great.
And I'm in here recording this fucking podcast.
I mean, we could always just, like, do a brief Pokemon cast and then leave.
No, that.
Be like, hi, we need to go outside.
Hi,
This
we
is
need
weird.
to. I have to catch Pokemon.
Yeah, this is a requirement of my life now.
All right. Gotta get that PFP.
Oh, this is gonna be a good story.
Pre-show puff.
I played a weird game this week, and it's gonna be fun to
PSP.
talk about.
Okay, good.
You can veto me talking about this if you want me to.
Does that have any taste to it?
The inhaler?
It tastes like medicine.
It depends on which kind of inhaler you use.
Can you get fruity banana
No, none
twist?
of them are gonna taste like. So I have one. There's a red inhaler. The Pro Air tastes a little bit like cough syrup.
Good cough syrup, like this, the bubble gum.
No, not like the
No,
bubble
no.
gum. Like the codeine, thick
I'm sorry.
prescribed cough syrup. Just a little bit, right? And it just hits the back of your tongue. It's very weird. This one tastes a little minty, honestly. Just
Hold on.
very slightly.
There's a Pidgey here.
and then the regular.
I just evolved my Pidgeotto into Pidgeot, and I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah.
All right, I'm starting this podcast. It is Saturday, July 9th, 2016, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm Alex O'Neill, your host this evening, and with me I have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Tony Horvath is here.
I just want to be the very best.
We are joined by our guest, Alex Van Aken,
Hey!
and Brian Nobishin Jackson is here as always.
Don't be a weird boy.
Don't be a wheel boy?
Weird boy.
A weird boy. Well, I mean, I'm surrounded by people fucking playing Pokemon Go.
Yep.
At this point, if you did not view, experience, or take in the bonus content,
All those are good adjectives for that.
yeah, I agree. Mostly because it was a very abstract Pokemon-related bonus content.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about Pokemon Go already, and we're probably going to talk more about it because apparently it's all the internet can think about.
Mm-hmm.
It came out, what, like
2
Thursday?
days ago. Yeah.
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 Fuck, man. It's just destroying all of us from the inside out, I think. We got a good show lined up for everyone here. Alex Van Aken is here.
What's up?
This is the work in progress. We've been trying to get you on the show. I've been trying to get you on the show for like 3 months.
Well, yeah, I think we even had a date scheduled, and then my father-in-law had to have a heart attack.
I wasn't going to go there, but that's fine.
I mean, I'm just calling him out, you know?
Just saying,
what
if
happened.
you're listening, send a voicemail, 404. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah, I'm excited to be on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. I have been on the PPR.
Yes, you have. 3 or 4 episodes ago, and it was the longest episode that our show has ever been.
We do that. We do that.
Like, times 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, it was the E3 show. Like, you came on to talk about E3, so of course,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of news there, you know.
Yeah, we had a lot of good conversations
Mhm.
about the industry and E3 and kind of the state of things as well, though. So
Yeah,
Was it
talked
good?
about some diversity, and it was fun.
yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed being on it, and Blessing was on that as well.
Yes, yep.
Who has
Blessing Junior.
Blessing Junior is all he's ever known as.
Yeah, because he has a Nicaraguan last name, so it's like Adioye. Did I just nail that? I think I did.
No, I'm sure he'll somewhere
correct
just
me.
be like, way to fuck that one up, huh? Yeah, no, he's also a cool guy.
Yeah.
And I
Nigerian, by the way, not Nicaraguan.
Okay, fair enough.
There's differences.
I'm sure he'll have at least 6 different corrections for you.
Yeah, probably.
Regardless. Yeah, you're Pixel Pulse Radio. If people haven't heard of it, go check it out. We'll talk about it again at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, it's let's get like right into it. Let's get like into the housekeeping, into everything, and then we're going to talk about video games because I'm sure there's plenty of video games to talk about. So a few things on Irrational Passions in Irrational Passions land. First, we do have a new T-shirt available now.
Yeah, we do.
It's a cool T-shirt.
I mean, it's all right.
I think it's all right. I think it's pretty.
good.
It's pretty good. I titled it the Irrational Passions #1 fan T-shirt. If you're watching the video version, Alex is actually wearing our first T-shirt, which is cool. Tony has that T-shirt as well.
Yep.
I just want to throw that out there. I want to give you some.
It's in my garbage can.
Yeah, it's in your garbage can. It also happens to be on fire.
Yeah.
The new T-shirt was designed by Roger Picorni at Rajformer on the internet, and that kid's real talented. He did a great job. You can get it if you'd like to purchase it. It's $22 US plus shipping. It's teespring.com/IPP2. That's like Irrational Passions Podcast, and 2 if you get it, if you put that together.
I think we got it.
Okay, cool. It's it's a cool shirt. If you
Looks really
buy
good.
it, it supports us, and thank you to everyone who has purchased it already. Y'all are super lovely. That's the biggest thing. Other thing, obviously, last week's podcast is up. A lot of stuff is cooking for RationalPassions.com right now. It's in the oven, currently baking, 425 degrees Fahrenheit. But we got a lot of articles coming because I did kind of put it out there a couple weeks ago that I'm looking to see if people want to write for RationalPassions.com, they could email me. Many people did. And and a lot of them are really, really good. Like, there are some things coming down the pipeline that I'm very, very excited about. A lot more kind of like longer, interesting, fun, and funny stuff that just like from the couple things I've seen already. So I've been working on two things. One of which we'll post as soon as I finish doing like an audio recording of it. Like there's going to be an audio version of it. So that'll hopefully post early the week that this episode goes out. We have an article, like a new column that is coming. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but yeah, I'm not going to butcher it. I meant to tweet at him and find out if he can give me a phonetical spelling. I'm going to do that so I can say it at the end of the show. But he's got a new column coming to us. It's one of our new writers. There's a couple of them, so I'll wait until everything's kind of put together. But I've been working with a couple of people pretty closely, and there's some really fun articles coming soon. And Silver PR's Capcom Pro Tour July roundup, June roundup, June. It's the July one because it's the name of the month that it posts in, not the previous month. So the July roundup. So everything up until the event that's going on actually this weekend, and he's been tweeting about that at Silver PR if you want to stay up to date on that. So there's a lot of stuff coming to IrrationalPod.com. Hopefully, a few of those things will be up by the time this audio version goes up on Tuesday. That's it. That's all I got. Let's talk about video games.
I like video games.
Video games are cool. Alex, as our guest, do you want to kick things off? What you been playing, man?
Sure, yeah. So pretty much a constant in my life right now is Overwatch, and I think it's like that for a lot of people. So I'll just touch on it briefly. I'm really enjoying competitive mode. I think there needs to be some tweaks to kind of some of the sudden death modes, but I feel like when I can join competitive mode, I feel like my teammates take it more seriously, that's just kind of inherent based on, the goals of that, ranking up, and it's all based on skill. But so I'm really enjoying Overwatch. I've been kind of playing with Zarya a little bit, trying to get better at her, and then my main's Tracer. But that's kind of like always a constant in my life and probably will be through 2016. But today I purchased Inside for the Xbox, and I am really enjoying it. Has anybody in here played it yet?
I haven't.
You have not?
Nobishin I don't know if you've beaten it, Nobishin. He might have stepped out also. I have access to it. I've not played it yet.
Okay. So right off the bat, and I'm not going to spoil anything, it is definitely the sequel to Limbo, the spiritual successor to Limbo, for sure. If you played Limbo and you enjoyed it, you're probably going to like this game. I like it better. I felt like sometimes in Limbo there were moments where the difficulty just like didn't make sense. It just seemed like unbalanced. And this, it's definitely one of those things where you have to die. You're constantly trying to figure it out. But I just think like if you like Limbo, you're gonna like this. It's very spooky. At least for me, I'm spooked easily. But it's an interesting concept. There's some really messed up stuff in the game, in my opinion, in a good way. And I don't want to. I feel like this is a game where you don't really like.
It's something you can't really talk about, right?
Yeah.
Because a big part of it is experiencing it. And if it's not a surprise when you see it, it just doesn't work as well.
It's lost on you.
Yeah. And like the same thing could be said for Limbo. Like if you knew how Limbo ended, and then you saw it, like
it would totally change.
You'd be super underwhelmed, I think.
Yeah.
But like when you go through Limbo and you don't know what's going to happen next, and then it ends the way it does, it's super like breathtaking in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet. Inside, that is. I think it's about a 3 or 4 hour game. I'm probably halfway through, and I just got to a really interesting part that I didn't think there's like some interesting twists to it, like gameplay wise and setting wise. I think so far it's super polished. And creepy, That's kind of what I was going into it for, Yeah. Puzzles feel fair. It takes a couple times to figure them out for me, but then after that, I'm golden. Whereas in Limbo, like I said, I felt like sometimes like it was like just banging your head against the wall, and then it ends up being like the most simple solution, So if you like moderately difficult puzzles, then I think you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I really do want to play it.
It's really good so far.
Yeah, Limbo is one of those kind of first games I reviewed, and it was like the first time for me because I didn't play Braid, that like a downloadable game really hit me. Outside of like I guess Shadow Complex, but yeah, like as far as like a reviewer and when I was like really starting off, that was 2010. Right, so that was like right after Irrational Passion started. It was the Summer of Arcade. It was one of the Summer of Arcade games that year. So, like, it definitely, that game resonated with me a lot because it was like right around the time I started being more critical of games, and it was also like right around the time like indie games like that were doing different things. So, those guys have a special place in my heart for sure.
Yeah, and I felt like there was like definitely they have a standard to hit. Like Limbo is so great, and I was kind of worried. I mean, even after the reviews came out, I was still kind of skeptical. Like, are they going to be able to capture that kind of that special thing that game has? And I think just the way the game starts off, in the setting, and just like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but just some of the mechanics and I just think it's really cool. And I guess I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's like I said, tricky to talk about.
Yeah. And then
yeah, what else?
Yeah, kind of like, I don't remember when the game originally came out, but it just came out in December on PlayStation and Xbox. I've been playing Chivalry Medieval Warfare, which is a purely multiplayer game. And it's kind of like, honestly, it reminds me of what For Honor might become. Maybe a little less complicated from what we've seen from For Honor, but you've got horizontal swing, vertical swing, and you're essentially just these knights fighting it out. There's skirmishes where you're attacking a castle, and you've got ballistas and trebuchets and battering rams, and then there's like people up on the castle pouring tar on you as you're trying to break in. It's really fun. I will say, the Xbox One version seems very janky. The first night I played with a friend, and it ran really well. And then for some reason I've gotten on the past 2 nights to play it with a bigger party, and it's kind of rough for me. The hitboxes don't seem to be very precise. It feels like my blade is like just going through bodies and not actually doing any damage, So that's kind of frustrating. I'm hoping it's like, I don't know, I'm hoping it's just like a fluke and maybe the servers will straighten out. But when it's working, it works really well, I think. But the technical difficulties, it's still fun, but it just definitely takes away from the experience. But if you like medieval kind of themes, I think you should check it out. It's $10 right now on the Xbox sale that's going on.
Yeah, I played a whole bunch of it on PC.
Yeah.
A while ago, I guess like 2014 probably.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean that game. For Honor is a good comparison. I feel like it's a lot easier to die in Chivalry.
Yeah,
I had a lot of moments where I'm like, well, oh, I'm dead. Okay, and then it like cuts to like your head rolling down a hill or something ridiculous like that, which is okay. It has its place.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games where the people who have been playing, it leans heavy towards like skill, and so if you're new to it, you're gonna get batted around pretty bad for a while.
Oh yeah.
But then there's like when everything's working, like I said, it's just when you get that hit off and like you just like take somebody's head off, it's just like very violent and brutal, honestly, but it just feels great. Kind of reminds me of like Gears of War headshots. Like that game just is really good at like, as far as like feedback for your controller and all that and what's on screen, it feels really good. And I feel like Chivalry, when it's working right, does that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a dumb little game. It was $10.
It's all right. Yeah, it's totally a fine time sink, I think. Like if you're looking for a little bit of violent fun, like that's exactly what that game is.
Yeah.
What else? What else is
Pokemon Go?
your... Oh God, it's back.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So
everyone's obsessed with Pokemon Go.
All right. Yeah. So I went out last night at midnight.
Here we go.
Let me get my headset on. I went out last night at midnight after I was playing Chivalry. And so Thursday night, I went out with Kayla, my wife, and we got some pizza, went to this gym that's near my house. I took it over for Team Instinct. and that was that. I
Yellow
wanted
team,
to go back.
right? Team Instinct is yellow.
Gold
Yes.
team rules.
Zapdos is our mascot. So
Okay, so my brother is a yellow team.
Look, if you're choosing the wrong team, if you're not choosing the team with literally the battery power god.
I'm not a high enough
you got
level.
some good points, Tony.
I'm not a high enough level to join a team yet.
I can't hear you over this Weedle that I'm catching.
I hate you. Truly, just on the inside. If you listen to bonus content, I've had like a zero-sum game with Pokemon Go so far, where I've tried and I've walked and I've gone places and I haven't seen a single Pokemon, single tier.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that.
I just sit on my couch and they come to me.
Yeah, that
That's
doesn't happen for me either.
Upsetting.
Do you live in like a rural area or more like an apartment-y area?
I live in Boulder, Colorado, so it's like a college town.
Okay, I think
But
that's.
I'm like 5 miles away from anything though.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't have like a single Pokestop near me. But
Nothing has ever popped up just next to me unless I've used incense.
I take that back. I'm looking at it right now. There's a gym like a block away from me.
Yeah, like there's
That's
nothing near me. So
that might play into it.
yeah,
But I
think
went out
that's something that they're working on.
Yeah, I hope so. But
Yeah, I mean, like, sometimes Pokemon just come to you and sometimes they don't, I guess.
That's right.
Whatever. I got senpais to check on. Fuck off. Let me tell you about Notice Me Senpai. So there was an update to Notice Me Senpai.
Okay.
Where now you can tap on the little senpais.
Oh,
And
shit.
a little heart will grow bigger and bigger and bigger as you tap on them more. And then, like, it explodes into a coin, and then you get coins by tapping on them.
What?
They also added this Gachamon machine, so you get a different pickup every day. So it's not the same 15 over and over again. So they have, like, daily rewards for checking in every day. Anyway, there's a summer boy theme, and you can get swimsuits for all the senpais. It's pretty good. The game's all right. Anyway, Pokemon Go, yeah. Scott's now obsessed with Pokemon Go. He hasn't been talking to all this show because...
Well, that has absolutely nothing to do with Pokemon Go because I'm in kind of the same boat you are. There's nothing around me. I was just listening to,
I think that's
listening to
just
over there.
that's a consequence of where each of us live.
so
Yeah.
when you go out tonight, they're talking about going to the lake or something, right?
Yeah, we're going to a lake. So Alex is
Not-
coming.
not actually.
Bring a defensive mechanism with you, maybe like a pocket knife or something. I went back last night at midnight to that gym I went to on Thursday night.
Yeah?
And it's literally a crime scene. There are 8 police cars, all lights on. I'm like,
All right,
I'm
you
just
don't
like
need
trying
to
to get my
skip Alex
Pokemon.
any more than you already have.
Like,
What is happening
so
in
yeah.
Colorado?
There's caution tape everywhere. Literally, where I was standing the other night to take over
Yeah,
the gym,
but it's like-
there is a dude in handcuffs, and then they're looking for the other guy. There's flashlights everywhere.
If you're the
ambulances
other
are there.
guy, Alex, are you not telling us the
I
whole
don't think I'm
of
the
the
other
story?
guy. I hope not. I don't know. That'd be bad.
It would be bad.
No, so I went to take this gym, and it's literally a crime scene. So
So
That
bring
seems safe.
a pocket.
So what you're telling me is Pokemon Go is now starting gang wars.
I mean, all you need to do is like summon your Pokemon to defend you.
I do have a little. I don't think that's gonna work in real life, Tony. But like, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
Is the yellow team the Crips or the Bloods? I don't understand.
Neither.
Okay. We're better than both.
There is a red and a blue team as well, so that would be them.
Okay.
Yeah, this was taken by the Bloods currently, and I never got to take it because the police were there. But
Damn police.
Then I went up to like college campus, rolled up to the Hazels, which is like a beverage store here, like booze and all that. And
But hold on. You should just went up and taken it. You should if they ask you questions of why you
excuse
were
me,
there.
I'm going to come past the caution tape. There is a gym that needs to be taken. You're right. I
Sure.
should have.
I'm kind of into this.
You don't
I
have
like
to.
Scott's plan
I
here.
don't think you have to pass the caution tape, or did you really?
You can like get up and like toss your ball.
Maybe you can like hand your phone to like the police officer.
Hey,
and,
like, could you
know.
just like? I just need you to tap on the.
Just
So
tap
how do
really
gym
hard.
battles work?
So you walk up, and when they're not bugged,
Okay.
and don't let you beat the person, which
Yeah,
is
there's-
pretty much every time.
So basically, how it works is you go to a gym, and depending on what level the gym is, most are still about levels 1, 2, or 3. There are a specific amount of trainers that can have a Pokemon there. So let's say it's a level 1 gym. There can only be one person there who will be the gym leader. And their Pokemon, they'll have set one Pokemon to be in that gym. And each, I think, day that they're in the gym, your Pokemon gets stronger and you get some money for it.
Mhm.
So say someone else literally like goes physically up to your gym, And then they try and attack. You can attack with 6 Pokemon. And the idea is that you kill each of the other Pokemon in the gym.
Whoa!
So
You cause them to knock out. It's
you kill them.
You
You
break
slaughter
break out your knife.
Yeah,
And
you
they
break
don't
out your
exist
knife and you
anymore.
stab
That's why I
the
told you
shit.
bring a pocket knife.
You stab the shit out of those Pokemon.
Jesus.
So basically, a level 1 gym is not very hard to take because there's only
No.
one possible Pokemon. So you'd have to put like a 600 combat power Pokemon in there for it to be stand a chance of not getting taken immediately. But that's kind of besides the point. So you go there. Say it's a level 3 gym. There's going to be 2 people and then a gym leader, and the gym leader is always last and is always the person with the strongest Pokemon there. And then if you go from the weakest Pokemon up to the strongest Pokemon, you try and beat them all with your team of 6. So the way that a battle works is you choose 6 and you start the battle, and then you tap on the screen rapidly to attack the enemy. And then while you're doing that, there are little blue bars that you're filling up, and for each blue bar that's full, you can press and hold to use a special attack, and that would be like Pidgeot using Aerial Ace or something like that.
Okay.
And the idea is to make their health go to 0 before they can make your health go to
So
0.
it's kind of like an action game when you get into an actual fight.
Yeah, and you can dodge too, which I haven't been able to get to work yet. But
Okay, that's fine. It's buggy, so
yeah,
There's a
Pokestops.
Yeah, you can go to
Which are
Pokestops to get
essentially
items, right? Or
Yeah, pretty
something?
much. Yeah.
Yeah, so the way that stuff works is, the basic thing that you want to do is you want to go to Pokestops to stock up on like items that you need. So when you go to a Pokestop, which that'll be like an art piece or just an area of interest around you. And then you go there and you spin the little circle that's the picture of the Pokestop, and it'll give you sometimes it'll give you some Pokeballs, sometimes it'll give you some Pokeballs and an egg, sometimes it'll give you some Pokeballs and a revive, etc., etc. And then there are cool things that you can do with them where you can attach modules to them to make Pokemon show up for you to catch there, and that affects everybody who's there, so it'll pull a bunch of stuff for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of neat.
That is kind of neat. For people's reference, just to establish here, Pokemon Go is like an AR game based on location data and Google Maps data.
Yeah.
So you actually have to move around in real life in order for it to work. If people I don't know if you've been living under a rock and you only listen to Irrational Passions podcast, don't know why, but you can go to the iOS or Android Google Play Store, whatever, App Store, Google Play Store, check out Pokemon Go. I don't know, it's consumed
fun.
everyone.
I feel like it's very it's definitely a communal game.
Yeah.
For the most part, when you're not attacking a gym, usually people are very nice. They'll walk with you to wherever you're going. I don't know. I really enjoy it for that aspect particularly, especially the week we've had as a country. It's kind of nice to just be able to have a little piece of joy with random strangers, on the street.
But I mean, until you get to a gym.
Well, yeah, I got to a gym last night.
Then you be careful. Then
Yeah.
you be careful.
So I pull up next to this car that's occupying the gym, obviously.
Okay.
And I could have been a complete jerk because they had just cleared out the gym. It was vacant while they were healing their Pokemon to put in there. I was very tempted to just put my Pokemon in there, drive off.
Yeah, do
They
that.
cleared it off. I did not, but I started attacking them once they get their Pokemon in there. They roll down their window, start yelling at me, "Hey, that's us!" And then I
Good.
rolled my window down.
You
I
should be
said,
good.
"I know," and then took the gym.
And then you rolled
And
your
drove
window
off.
down, put on your sunglasses, and drove
And
off.
turned off.
First, I steal your gym, then I steal your girl. Yeah, that's how
Turn
it
on
felt
the
like.
radio, which happens to be blaring the Pokemon theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I felt pretty baller.
Yeah.
But
I really like this imagery that we've laid out here.
Yeah.
You should have just rolled down the window and had the Pokemon battle music blasting out of your car.
I just I'm concerned for the first instance of Pokemon Go based violence.
I mean,
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Just
yeah.
not very.
I'm just saying, when the yellow team is the culprit at the end of this, I don't know how you guys are gonna defend this hype that you laid up.
Justice. That's how we're going to do it.
I just said I did the right thing and waited for them to put their Pokemon in there.
Yeah.
Yellow team is all good. They're good.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Yellow team rules, gold team rules, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Is there anything do we want to bookend that? Not bookend that. Put a ribbon on it.
Sure.
Leave Pokemon Go behind. Is that all you've been playing, Alex?
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Cool. Scott. Video games.
I see. I was waiting what you wanted from me. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought I
I-
had
you
knew.
know,
I thought I knew, but
I'm
I
setting you up.
just didn't.
I'm setting you up,
I
man.
just didn't. I had it wrong.
Okay, that's fair enough. I don't know what you expected me to say. I just like Scott. Tell
Well,
me
I mean,
about
at this
your
point, I just
Pokemon.
don't think you want to know.
Have you been playing anything interesting?
A lot of XCOM, a lot of Bravely Default.
Have you finished XCOM yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay. Are you
But
fighting
no.
like the big bad dudes? Yeah. Are you fighting sectopods yet?
I hacked the Sectopod and he destroyed the enemy team.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, right? It's a real good feeling. I hacked a sectopod on the final mission of that game. Yeah, like having the hacker guy with the little drone is like a total game changer. Because a lot of the worst late game. So in XCOM 2, over the XCOM Enemy Unknown, a lot of the machines have armor, right? So you have to
Right.
either destroy the armor or just try and fight through it, which is a nightmare until you get like the highest tier weapons that'll go through armor or go through like 2 pieces of armor.
Right. Or you have the grenadier and you were smart and you picked shredding.
Yeah, you
instead
got
of
the
blast
shredder
padding.
because why would you not get that? Because it's so useful. So like in XCOM 2, you can just hack those electronic enemies with the armor, so that way you don't necessarily have to kill them, and then like they'll all.
Generally, you still have to kill them.
Generally, you do still have to kill them, but sometimes like
They'll take that. Sometimes they'll try and take care of it for you, bits and pieces. But usually they'll just walk right past it and go for a shot that they'll almost most definitely miss.
Yeah, I've had a lot of aliens just turn on each other when I've hacked their.
No, yeah,
mechs.
that definitely happens with turrets and stuff like that. But when you go ahead and you hack one of the med units. I think it's like the medic mech or whatever. And then some of the heavy mechs, sometimes they just ignore those guys and go for you because in a couple turns they're going to get them back.
Yeah.
So what I do is I just walk on top of them. I nuke them with their own missiles, so I don't have to worry about those missiles anymore.
Yeah, it's a good
That
way.
works, by the way.
Yeah, because they have limited ammo and everything.
So I use all their missiles on them and on themselves, so I don't. One, their armor goes down too. So I'm taking care of their armor. And two, they have to deal with it right now, else they're going to die.
Yeah.
Because even though that explosion isn't going to kill them, the
Might
heavy
take them
mechs
out of
have
cover.
two. It will most certainly take them out of cover. And if they don't start shooting that guy, they will not have cover for several turns.
Yeah.
Generally, how it works is it's always never in their favor because either they kill him,
Or
either they kill him, or I blow both it and them up using their own missiles, and then I kill them both.
that's diabolical. I like that.
So like, and at this point, I like being hunted by the UFO because I could just put all my soldiers out onto the field and just grind out the experience with it.
Sure.
It's like I have a good like 3 snipers in the back, all with squad sight. I have
Of course.
3 hackers on the field, 2 medics. I have 1 guy with a shredder. I don't have many grenadiers, and I put blast padding on one of the other ones because
Of course.
early that was the first grenadier that I had, and I
Helps.
needed somebody in the front line that wasn't going to die immediately.
Yeah, like
Because
get hit by one
early-
explosion and just die.
Early game, you just die.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Although I
You
found
get shot
that
once, you just die.
I found that the people had more health in XCOM 2. I thought.
Yeah, you have more health. The damage, they do more damage too in general. Like in XCOM 1, pistols did 1 to 2 damage. Instead, they did 2 to 3 level 1. Stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any snipers that are like the pistol guys?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Face Off is extremely good.
Yeah.
especially when you don't have any high points. The snipers are only very good for the full snipers are only very good when that map has
Like
a high altitude.
Yeah, you can get
Uh,
higher ground, which is good because that didn't matter at all in Enemy Unknown. Really, like you got an advantage for it, but it was so minimal. In this, like it makes a super significant difference.
Right, and so that's why in the other one I always mixed the perks because I wanted squad sight,
On everyone,
but I
always.
also did not want him to be screwed in case a berserker came running at me.
Yeah, fair enough. This one, I think they balance out kind of like the different class perks a little bit better.
Yeah, and I like that the berserker doesn't move every single time you shoot it.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
Because like the berserker before it had way too much health.
Yeah,
But then it had an extra action every time you shot at it. So if you didn't shoot at it with a sniper and had your guys very far away from it, you were going to die.
what I would do is I would put like in Enemy Unknown, you could have like a guy with a shotgun that if anyone gets in with a certain radius, like a certain block radius of them, they'll take a shot at them. So I would shoot the berserker from like an angle of the sniper that it would come towards the sniper into the shotgun's like
Is
front
a
of
shotgun's
attack.
kill range, right?
Yeah,
And but
and
like
then it would finish him off.
right, that was actually a relatively earlier perk, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And like it was midway, but
it was about midway. Yeah, so it was more
yeah, it
reasonable
wasn't
to
it
do
wasn't
stuff
like one of
that.
the last ones like the Blade Master is for the Ranger on this
Yeah,
one.
that's like the second to last one, the very last
Third.
one. Okay.
Third to last, and it's like the Blade Master comes just way too late.
Yo, but that fucks chrysalids up though.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's like for people's reference. That's like if they get within one block range, they just slash their sword at them for a free move, and it can
Right.
do crazy damage.
Warning: if you do not put anybody who's panicked near a Ranger with that, because the Ranger will slash at them and kill them.
Oh, that's good to know. Ugh. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, no, I was reading about it because I was confused. There's two actions on that same slot that seem like they do effectively the same thing. However, one grants you a move every time you kill, and not an extra action point.
Yeah.
It's specifically you're allowed to move after, and then the other one is essentially the shotgun radius kill, except for it's auto slash when they come in range.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way it's worded, it sounds kind of like they are the same thing because
But they're not, yeah.
the game never explains to you how that action system really works. They just explain that you have two stages of steps, and shooting will always end your turn.
Yeah.
So when you come up with things that break that, you get really confused.
Yeah, like the sniper, you can only shoot the sniper rifle with 2 action points, right? You can't move and shoot. So like, yeah, they should have explained it a bit better, but
Kind of. They do that, but like from Death from Above,
yeah.
it's I initially thought I'd be able to get a second sniper shot off, but no, it's a pistol Overwatch.
Yep.
Or because when you're that far away, you can't actually shoot anything.
Hard lessons learned in XCOM 2, though. I'm glad that you're digging it, though.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like you're blasting through it. Yeah, I couldn't put it down for the 2 weeks I was playing it for sure.
Did you guys play Massive Chalice?
I did.
How does I'm a total XCOM noob. I've never touched it. That are they pretty similar?
They're
like
very
as far
similar.
As, okay, I wasn't sure how much of a clone it was, or how
So
much
like
that
I'll
was-
say Massive Chalice is very cool because it's also different. But as far as like the variety of enemies that you fight, there's more in XCOM 2, but it's about the same in Massive Chalice. It's about the same as XCOM 1.
Okay.
And like the way the enemies, you get like tiered, like stronger versions of enemies later on. And there's a lot of the meta system. So basically, the game outside of the actual tactical gameplay
Sure. Yeah.
is very different in Massive Chalice, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh right, because so in XCOM, I'm not going to explain to him the story. I'm just going to explain to him how this metagame works.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You have a base that you have to build.
Mm-hmm.
Each action takes a certain amount of days.
Yeah.
You can assign more engineers to these things to shorten them up, of course. So you essentially have to build your base in a layout that makes sense.
Yeah.
In XCOM 2, it matters much less because they don't do adjacent bonuses, but they do
Some,
have
but, yeah.
they do have some special spots which allow things to cost 0
Yeah.
Okay.
power.
So-
So it's
Whoa.
choosing. There's some of that there, and then you have your research, which is essentially your progression. You can only research
yeah.
one thing at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and you are timed. You do not have an infinite amount of time to do everything. In each game, the aliens are working on something, and you have to stop them before that something happens, or it's game over.
Yeah, XCOM 2
Okay,
is cool,
that's cool.
because the enemy basically has a win scenario that they're building towards, just like you're building towards your win scenario.
Right, and it's the same in XCOM 1 too.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not quite the same, but
It, kind of. It's the in XCOM 1, instead of them having a win scenario, it's you have a power curve that you have a set time limit that where the power curve becomes too much, where the structure of the game and how far you can progress goes just way above.
yeah.
So you have to complete it in so many missions. You have to complete the game in under so many missions,
Okay.
else you will be killed.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like where Massive Chalice is more about kind of building up these families and just kind of placing
Yeah.
castles on like the different areas, like, and you have the territories, right, and you can lose them. And it has research and everything kind of running in the background as well. But XCOM is more about like actually building a specific base, placement.
That sounds much more
everything.
appealing to me.
Yeah, it's cool. If you've never played it, it's absolutely worth checking out. I feel like you could jump into XCOM 2 and have a good time.
Yeah, I feel like just the aesthetic and just thematically, Massive Chalice didn't do much for me. And I feel like XCOM, just the series in general, looks much more appealing to me. You know?
You've never given it a shot at all?
No, never.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, if you like Massive
I've heard
Chalice at
so
all-
much about it. It's one of those games where you're like,
Yeah,
I've
it's-
never
if you
played
like
it.
Massive Chalice at all, for its gameplay, then head straight into XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say 2 so far right yet because of all of its technical issues.
It's coming to consoles as
It's
well.
coming to
the
consoles
second
in
one.
September, so
Yeah, so maybe
Right.
I'll pick it up if everything's
yeah,
technically.
as long as it works.
Yeah.
You're right. So I'm just saying, hold off on 2, but
I mean, I could pick up XCOM 1 for probably really cheap.
Oh yeah, super
yeah,
cheap.
you pick up XCOM 1. Like 1's still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
if you like Massive Chalice, you'll feel right at home with that one.
Awesome.
Anything to say about Bravely Second?
I did figure out that I don't have to keep so quiet about it because there was that thing with the first one.
Yeah.
I do believe I said the game runs on its quote unquote secret ending.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. But like other than that, there's a return of the 3 out of the 4 main characters in the game. Only 2 are playable.
Okay.
And then there's 2 new characters. They're good. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because there's the base game is essentially the same. However, there's a new list of jobs, and you can only get the old ones as a choice in side quests. You get
Okay.
the new ones from main quests, the old ones from a choice in side quests. And what I mean by that is, the first side quest I came upon, you have a choice between the Red Mage and the Thief. And essentially, whomever you attack is the one that you get the asterisk from, which is the thing you need to use the job.
Okay.
So
Do you think like
it's a bad system because it's coming from the first one.
Where you just, like, get all the
need a
jobs.
job X, Y, and Z to go ahead and put this job set combo together.
Mm-hmm.
That's essential for the post game. During game, it's considered game breaking, but it is almost impossible to go post game without a setup like this.
Yeah.
And it's called like the one that I'm using is a Red Mage battery.
Okay.
You essentially inflict yourself with status ailments that don't particularly matter to you all that much, not for doing damage. So you're maxed out bravery points almost the entire time.
Okay. What do bravery points do?
Those are your action points.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do a small breakdown.
No, like I remember that. So like that's just what they call like the
Yeah,
amount of turns
that's
you
what
can
they
take.
call your hermit.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just like I don't.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since I heard them referred to as bravery points.
Right. So you go ahead and you use that to essentially max everybody out and reset them.
Okay.
So there's a new thing in this game where it's battle on, where essentially you get a multiplier for every consecutive battle you do, and it's no stops between. You don't get a reset on your bravery points. You don't get a reset on anything. You go from one fight to another, based on the enemies of the area that you're in. So it's not even the same enemies, and you have to. In order to end the chain, you can either not go on, or you have to kill them in one turn.
Okay.
Before
that's a cool strategy. Like I wouldn't think that would work.
Before I used I broke the game like this simply because I didn't feel like grinding. So I was level 35 when I was supposed to be level 60, and I was killing bosses.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a maybe broken game. Maybe broken.
But I mean, like, at the same time, yeah, you kind of hit this peak limit where you hit max stats and bosses still end up one-shotting you.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel the point of leveling up to survive the normal way if post game was going to wreck me anyway.
Yeah.
Too bad I kind of lost the game and didn't get there.
And everything is ruined. Yeah.
But hey, I can't lose this one.
Yeah. I hope not. Is it? Did you?
That would
buy
mean my
digitally?
entire 3DS would be gone.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've proven that it's possible, at the very least. Cool. Glad it's treating you well.
Anyway,
sounds like
back
you
to
got
what
the
I
hot
was saying.
strats. Yeah.
Back to what I was saying about the choice system of the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They
So you have to
and-
choose like certain jobs at certain points. You can't get all the jobs.
I'm not sure
Okay.
because this game I don't want to do any reading on
Yeah, that makes sense.
because of how the last game worked.
Yeah, totally.
So far, it doesn't seem like it's
it's
relevant.
like the Dark Souls of Final Fantasy games.
Well, no, Dark Souls you absolutely do the reading up on.
Yeah, but not necessarily while you're playing it.
True.
Like the first time.
So essentially, they give you these 2 points, and you're supposed to feel pretty conflicted about which one to choose, or at least have a strong opinion of one side or the other. However, because the jobs in question are generally just so important based on your play style, that setup that they do is kind of irrelevant unless you just don't care about the jobs presented.
Yeah.
Which is that's exactly how it boiled down for the Red Mage.
Would you like consider like the jobs like that you see in those choice scenarios like more like secondary to like maybe the more important jobs that you get throughout the rest of the game?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay. They're equally as important.
They're equally important, and the Red Mage one is the most important.
Okay. Good to know. Well, I'm glad you chose correctly. Cool. Is the story crazy? Without spoiling anything?
The story is not super crazy so far. Then again, I'm in chapter 1, and right now I can't tell if anything special's going on anything too special is going on.
Any crazy
There
shit,
is there is the standard crazy shit,
yeah.
but there is no Bravely Default crazy shit.
Cool. Fair enough. Is that even playing, Scott?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
pretty much.
That's a lot, so.
I mean, for 2 games, a lot.
Well, yeah, but it sounds like you played
Those two
a
games
lot
are
of both
very
of those
involved, though.
games. Yeah, they're
Yes.
dense. That's good. Tony?
Yes.
Yes? Video games.
Video games?
Yeah, have you been playing them?
Yeah.
You want to talk about them?
Yeah.
All right, what's up?
So I played Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix.
Jesus Christ.
We know how much further. did you
I
get?
completed the game.
Okay. Good. Are you still playing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
Is it still treating you well?
Yes. I have a goat.
A goat?
I feed it turnips in a pachinko style.
I'm
What?
no longer a
I'm
fan.
not joking.
Why are you stop feeding your turnips?
Yeah, this sounds
Like,
insane.
that's torture.
I'm
But he likes it.
It's torture.
Sometimes if you feed him golden turnips, he gets really crazy and his eyes get all crazy, and then you can feed him infinite turnips for a short amount of time.
Tony. I have like
What are you doing to this animal?
I have a few very specific questions.
All
About
right,
your list.
I have specific answers.
Okay, because I remembered the thing I saw you playing on PSN was Life is Strange,
Yeah,
which you have on your list here.
yeah,
You want to talk about it?
yeah. So I played the first episode of Life is Strange.
Okay.
I completed The Witcher. So
So you were empty on the inside.
I just had nothing. I was just like, what do I do now? Because I'm playing Overwatch daily. I'll just get that out of the way.
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah.
I've been playing competitive a lot since last week. I went up 5 points as far as the competitive ranking goes. That's kind of cool.
I won a match and I went up maybe like 3 centimeters.
Yeah, it sucks. I posted something about that on Twitter yesterday. Because I lost a game and lost literally an entire rank. So I was like 55 and a half, and I went down to 54 and a half. And then that game took like 6 minutes because I started and then 3 people on my team after about 2 minutes of playing quit for no reason. We were doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like in 60 seconds you can leave without penalty, and I was like, oh great. And then 60 seconds happened. It's like you can leave without penalty, but with a loss. And I was like, well, this is fucking dumb.
Right.
So I left the game because obviously they weren't coming back at that point. So it took an entire level off, and then I went to play the next game, and that game ended up being like pretty evenly matched. The game took about 35 to 45 minutes, and I did really well. And I had a couple gold medals, and we won. And I gained like almost nothing towards the last rank that I was at. So that kind of got me a little peeved.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good. I'm playing with a lot of like industry people that I'm hanging out with and making friends. Sean and I have been playing all the time.
Big deal over here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Big deal, Mr. Horvath over here.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot with Mayumi.
Uh-huh.
She's like the person I play Overwatch with the most.
I'm playing a lot with Rise Kujikawa. She asked if I could introduce her to you, and I said it's not worth it.
Wow. That's fucked up, man.
And I know you guys have covered this to death, I'm sure. Who do you play as, Tony? Just super quick.
I'm in ranked. I play almost exclusively as Junkrat. Let me just pull up my Watcher.gg right quick.
Worst name for a website ever.
And I can tell you, I think I might still have 100% win rate with Junkrat. Hold on.
Take your time. No, it's fine.
All right, let's see. Loading player data. All right, so let me switch over to competitive.
Alex, do you play Overwatch on PS4 or Xbox One?
Both, mainly PS4 though.
Okay, because I don't think I played a little bit of the beta with you.
Yeah, we haven't played since the main game.
But I don't
comes
think
out
we've
'cause you
played
hate
since
me.
the main game.
All right, so here's some stats. I have played 12 games with Junkrat, and I've won 11 of them.
Wow.
A 91.67% win rate with Junkrat.
I'm terrible with Junkrat, so.
Actually, hold on. I think I have to push an update because it hasn't updated in a day. Hold on.
Mayumi May at Mayu_MAE on Twitter. Follow her because she's super cool.
Excuse me. I've played 13 games with Junkrat and won 12 of them, so I have a 92.31% win rate with Junkrat. My second most played is Lucio, which I'm 1-3 with, so that's great. And then I'm 2-0 with Torbjorn, and then 2-2 with Reinhardt. Anyway, I have a 65% win rate in general, and I'm ranked 54. So there you go. That's my Overwatch stats right now.
Overwatch stats with Tony Horvath.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Life is Strange.
Cool.
So
you're empty after finishing The Witcher.
yeah, I was like, what do I want to do in the time that I'm not playing Overwatch? And I was like just looking at these games, and I remember like ages ago I bought Metal Gear and Life is Strange, the complete all of the episodes.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did buy
back when
Metal Gear.
back when they were on sale forever ago. Then I played the beginning of Metal Gear and I haven't gone back to it. But I was like, all right, I'll play Life is Strange. It's been installed on my PS4 for a long time, and Alex and Novish didn't really seem to like it, so I'm gonna give it its honest chance. So I played the whole first episode, and I thought it was really good. I know I never thought it was going to be a bad game, but I thought it was really good. And some of the choices that I made, I was pretty okay with. So yeah.
I like honestly the first episode of that game is the weakest, but it's still I think really solid.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
But like,
I'm interested to play some more, but it's not like something I want to go back to all the time. You know, like I'm kind of cool with. I played the first episode, and then like later I'll come back and do the second one.
Yeah, I think like the second episode will be like the make or break episode for most people, and
Okay.
I think you'll dig it.
So I think I sent you guys a text message, but no one said anything earlier. And I was like, man, look, I picked this choice that only 2% of people picked, and that's nuts.
I never saw that.
Yeah, I did. I saw it, but I had no context.
Yeah. The choice that you can make, like the major one at the end of the first episode, apparently the one that I chose is a 2% of people pick that one. And I was like, wow, I'm very...
Yeah, you said zero context Tuesday at 1:41 a.m.
Yes.
Whoa, seriously? I picked something that 2% of people picked. With like, we're not talking about Life is Strange. The last
no one said anything until Thursday.
The last message I had sent was like 4 hours before that about like the guests we have for the podcast, and the next
now you
message
see what happens in my mind.
is 2 days later about fucking Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So yeah, Tony, you really nailed it with that. We totally knew what you were talking about.
Good. So that's what happened there.
I'm trying to think of like the big choice at the end of.
It's the one in the room with the people.
Oh God.
Should I just spoilery it up?
I mean, don't say anything because I still don't really want people to say anything. I'll figure it out.
It has to do with whether or not it's hard to. It has to do with drugs and whether or not you were the provider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Understood.
So that happened, and I thought it was a good time. I'll probably get back to it. Maybe I'll play. I don't know. That's kind of like with that game is the same as kind of Valhalla for me, which is I'll just play that game when I feel like playing that game.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see when it strikes me again to start up that game, and I'll play the second episode or part of it and just kind of see where to go.
So the second of the three specific questions I have about your list is about Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
So I got a very depressing text message from you earlier.
It wasn't as depressing, at least I didn't mean it as depressing as you probably interpreted it as.
Well, it was like I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition again, and I'm just sad because it's not The Witcher or something like that.
I said, hold on, I have to scroll up because Danny talks too much. Okay, I started Dragon Age Inquisition last night and was upset about how inferior a game it is to The Witcher, and the frame rate hurt my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty depressing message. I agree with you.
I still like what I did. This was after I finished Life is Strange. It was like the next night off that I had. I was like, I had installed Dragon Age Inquisition at the same time that I was deciding between what thing I wanted to play, and I was like, I mean, I could play this game because it's either that or Fallout, and I don't want to play Fallout. So I looked up this video because I wanted to kind of do things differently than the first time I played 2 years ago. Was that 2 years ago? I think that was 2 years ago.
Dragon Age Inquisition was 2014, yeah.
God, that was forever ago.
Yeah.
So I looked up this video. It's a 2.5 hour video going over the Dragon Age keep and every choice that you could have made in the previous games.
Yeah.
And I had played both of them, so the first time that I went through the game, I just mirrored what I had there before. So I wanted to do a couple things differently this time. So I kind of went through and I sat there, as basically listening to a podcast, and just kind of drew out my choices from the previous games, getting ready to play this game for 2.5 hours watching this thing. And I
So it's
accidentally
an investment, is what you're saying.
So I don't know what I just sent to this text thread, but it's a voice chat, so who knows? But anyway, so I did that, and I was very pro mage last time I played. So this time I'm very pro Templar.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of just gonna see how that goes. And I played a female the last time I played Dragon Age Inquisition, so I'm playing a male character this time. Also, I had played a mage, so this time I'm playing a rogue. So pretty much everything is different, and it's been 2 years, so I just don't remember a lot about that game and the specifics. I still remember like some of like the major beats and stuff of the game, but it's kind of neat going back to it. But yeah, there's the whole thing of like games just look better on PS4 now, and there are a lot of unfortunate frame rate drops in that game that are just
Yeah.
I could do without because
I think it's a very pretty looking game, though.
it is. Yeah, it definitely is. I spent a long time creating a character. He's really hot, Yeah.
Like my biggest regret, like, and I think it was finally like the straw that broke the camel's back. When I was playing through that game was like, so I played a female character because I like to play female characters in RPGs, and I got to the point where I'm like, this is the person that I want to romance. And he's like the only gay male character.
Dude, he's awesome.
And I'm like, I should have just picked a male character. And it's just like, I was like, I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm just walking away from this.
Yeah, I will say that the end of that game, from what I remember, is pretty good.
I need to it's one of those things I just really want to finish.
Yeah. So what you should do, I mean, I wouldn't go back to where you are now after
I'd
2
have
years.
to start over.
I would do what I did. Listen to that. I'll link you that video. Just watch that. Make a world state and then just play that game. Probably play it as a male so you can.
I'm gonna play. If I play it again, I'm gonna play
bro.
as I'm gonna bone the hell out of Dorian, right?
Yeah, his name is Dorian.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that for sure.
Are you gonna try and finish this playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition? Then?
I think I will. So what I did when I played it, I spent 2.5 hours making a background. Then I started the game and played through basically the whole like first mini act. So I stopped right after you wake up in like your temporary first base camp, and then you walk in, and it's like right after the War Council thing starts.
Yeah. Okay.
So right after that starts, you walk out, and the game kind of first opens up for the first time. That's when I stopped because it was just like 3 a.m. and I had work, and I was like, okay. So I'll kind of see where I end up going from there. But I do think that I'll eventually play through the whole game. Right now we're in the month of the year where there's just nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a nice. That's why I played The Witcher. That's why I'll play this game.
Yeah. Like I can't. I honestly, now that the Arkham collection's gone, I can't name anything come out in July off the top of my head.
Right.
Happy Few. That's the only thing.
We Happy Few, yeah, but that's still like Xbox game preview, so.
Yeah.
But that's a good call out.
Yeah.
And the third specific question I had from your list is Fury.
Yeah. So that game came out for PS Plus members. Mm-hmm. It's a cool game. It's a very cool idea for a game. Mm-hmm. Fury is a third-person action game where it's a character action, kind of like the best thing that I could compare it to would be probably. It's like a combination of Dark Souls and whatever that game is where you're a lightning bro.
What?
Infamous.
Yeah.
Infamous. Lightning bro. Like,
yeah, you're a lightning bro.
You said lightning bro, and I'm still thinking Dark Souls.
Yeah, sure. So it's a combination of Infamous and Dark Souls.
Okay.
Except you don't actually have, instead of like lightning powers, you have a gun and a sword.
Okay. So it's like Samurai Gun.
No, not at all like Samurai Gun.
Okay.
But you do have a gun and a sword, so I kind of get where you're going there.
Yeah.
Anyway, the entire game is a series of boss fights with like this weird walk in between them. At least as far as I've gotten them, I've beaten 2 bosses so far. And the boss battles take a long time. They're like 16-minute boss battles.
Is that like a good long time.
Yeah, I think like at least as far as I've played so far, I thought it was cool. Kind of sucks if you get to the end and then you die, but like, hey, I mean that's your fault.
Yeah, that's right. I know, right?
So like the big things that make the game like work well, like at least as far as that, it allows it to be that long.
Okay.
As far as your health bar goes, you have a whole health bar, and you essentially have like I hesitate to call them lives, but they're basically lives where if at any point in the fight your health bar goes all the way to 0, then before I can even get to this, I have to explain that the boss also has an identical type of health bar. So they have a big health bar, and then below it they're like squares that represent additional health bars. So you, at least as far as I've gotten, have 4 of them. So 1 main health bar and then 3 little squares that represent health bars below it. And the bosses that I've fought, the first one had like 4 things below him by the time you start actually fighting him, and then the second boss had like 6. So essentially it has 7 health bars.
Wow.
So what you do is
It's like
you
Sephiroth
fight
from fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, so you fight until you and oh, by the way, the bosses, each of their health bars is technically 2 health bars. So you fight the boss until its health bar gets all the way to the first time you've depleted it. The whole health bar will be red at that point. And then you start this like second phase of the first phase of 7 of the boss, where you have to dodge their attack and then smack them a couple times to get that health bar down to 0. Say you do that. You've probably taken damage in the time that you're doing this. Yeah. When you completely deplete a boss's health bar, like 1 life essentially, then you heal all the way back up and they lose a health bar. It works the other way, where the boss gets your health all the way to 0, so you only have 1 health bar instead of like 1 and then another one but behind it. If yours gets all the way to 0, the boss gets his whole health bar back and you lose a life.
Shit.
So it's a 15-minute boss battle of you doing that. So it's kind of like, I don't hesitate to call them lives because you can kind of like get some of it back, and then based on how you do things, you can get the boss to summon some stuff that heals you. But anyway, that's really complicated, but that's kind of the main thing about how the game works. And so what you do is, you go in, you fight a boss for 15 minutes, and then once the boss dies, then you get to your rabbit bro helps you get to the next boss. As far as I've gotten. There's a rabbit bro who helps you get places. And so that's kind of the weakest part of the game, is walking between the bosses, because you're forced to walk very slowly for a really long time while they talk about stuff. But I did find out that you can just press the X button and your character will just walk to the next part. So you could press X and then just walk away from your console and come back and you're on the next boss, if you're not one for exposition.
For solemn, quiet walking.
Right. So, like I said, the majority of the game is fighting a boss. There are no trash mobs or anything like that as far as I've played in the game, and I think that the mechanics of fighting in the game are pretty damn good. You have a gun and you have a sword. You can charge, you can parry, and you can like charge it up. So you can do a charged shot. You can do a charge to dodge. It gets a little bullet hell-ish at times, and you can use your gun to deflect enemy bullets, or you can dash through like big like areas of energy that would do damage to you. It's pretty cool. But I definitely have enjoyed what I played of it, and it is. From the very first second of the game, like it gives you like some 3 brief tutorials that take like 2 minutes, and then it is just smack you in the face. This is a hard game.
Yeah, it sounds all right. I'm downloading it to my PlayStation 4 right now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth taking a look at.
It seems cool. I like the sound of it. I saw you tweeting about it, and I know Jarrett is in a similar boat as far as I think he kind of feels similarly to you about it. So,
yeah,
those are 2 people I like.
Yeah, well, I mean, just Jarrett.
You're all right, Tony.
Thanks, Alex.
Those are the only specific questions I had. So what else?
You guys want to talk about Clash of Clans?
No.
Sure.
Alex, no.
Alex is like, let me download this app.
Did you listen to that episode where I fell asleep almost?
Well,
Tony's just drolling on about Clash of Clans, telling me about how war works.
Yep.
I think I know how
never
war
changes.
works. I'm sorry. You can
What about Clash of Clans?
It's a good game. All right.
I'm ready.
I'm like a month out from going from Town Hall 8 to Town Hall 9, so that's exciting.
You gotta get to Town Hall 11 like your brother.
Yeah, right? Well, technically my walls are already better than my brother's, but don't tell him that.
But he's the fucking scrub lord.
He's a fucking shit.
Have you been playing anything outside of Clash of Clans?
Played some more Valhalla. It's the same. Still really good. Still definitely recommend that you take a look at that. I played one round of Paragon, because that's also a PS Plus game.
A MOBA.
Yeah. I started it, and then I picked the option that's like, I'm experienced in MOBAs. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
I know how to MOBA, thank you.
Yeah. And then I decided I actually just didn't want to play with other people yet because that seemed like too much hassle for me to go through because MOBAs.
Cool
So I
bot
played a bot match of me and 4 AI versus their 5 AI, and I picked this archer character. And the whole game probably took about 40 minutes. I just went down the middle lane and I shot stuff. And then I went back and I tried to buy items because I didn't understand what the fuck you're supposed to do with the cards that are items in that game. Only to very much later in the match find out that if you buy an item and then delete it, you can never ever buy that item again. So I made mistakes where I would pick up the cards that I wanted because you don't technically buy them. You unlock
like in match or like in the whole game as a...
Yeah, in your match.
Okay.
So you have like this basic starter deck. I'll start from the beginning of like items. And there's like a card that is a health potion. There's a card that's a mana potion. Then you have 4 active slots, but I only really saw 3 active items that I could use, which were 2 potions and a ward. So I got those 3, and then I at first didn't know that out of the 6 slots, all of them could technically be used for passive items, which are items that just passively increase your skills.
Your stats and skills.
Right.
Okay.
But I thought that because it says active, and then there are the 4 directions of the D-pad, and then it says passive, and there are the 2 like R3 and L3 sticks.
So would like an active item be like a healing potion or something?
Yeah, exactly right. So the active items that I know of are the mana potion, healing potion, and a ward, which is like a vision thing.
Yeah.
I
know
then,
what a ward
okay,
is. Thank you.
listen.
I'm very familiar with bush tactics.
Okay, fair. I don't think there are many bushes in Paragon. So,
Garbage. It's a garbage game for garbage people.
Yeah. So anyway, what ended up happening here was I picked up.
Are there trees?
Are there? Yes.
Is there
Like
a jungle?
physical item trees that you can chop down?
No. As far as I know, there are none.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Floating rocks.
So
Like-
what you do
okay, so-
as you're playing the game, by killing minions and like killing enemy like heroes and stuff, and you pick up these little orbs that increase the amount of power that you can have in items on you. Potions and stuff don't count for power, but like each passive item is initially like 3 power, and you spend that power, or like you occupy that amount of power with that item. It's not as complicated as making it sound. You start with like 12, you can get like 2 items that are 3 power, whatever.
So you're like building power throughout the game? Are you leveling like a normal
so you also level, and that lets you level up your skills, but instead of getting currency, you gain power towards your cards.
This sounds super weird.
It is weird. It's weird enough that me, a person who played 2,000 plus hours of MOBA games, could not figure out the inventory system.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds like overtly complicated for no
So
reason.
the big issue that I ran into, I purchased a couple of items because it gives you a recommended build, and I was like, fuck it, I'll go with that. Where it says, here are the early game stuff that you should build. So I got those 2 early game passes, put them in the passive slots, and then I came back like later on, like probably like 15 minutes later of not needing to go get items because we just destroyed everything because it's a bot match, whatever. And then I was like, all right, I got like 30 power. What am I going to do? So I tried to put a passive item in the slots that are technically for active items. I didn't really immediately notice a change in like my numbers because I wasn't really looking for it at the time. I just want to see, can I put this here? And I could. Later I found out that technically you can put passive items in any slot and it doesn't matter. So that was my first issue. So I then was like, oh, I could get this ward. So I deleted the passive item that I had put into the active item slot, and then I bought a ward. And then I got a second passive item. Okay, long story short, I bought all the passive items that you could potentially buy, and then sold back all of them except for 2, the original 2 that I had.
Yeah.
Later, I was like, trying to put them back into my inventory after I had figured out what the fuck was supposed to, that you could use them, and then I was like, it wouldn't let me. I kept pressing X, and it was like X to take this card, and I kept pressing X, and nothing happened.
Because you sold it and it was gone forever.
Right. So when you delete a card after you've gotten it from the shop, you can never get that card again in that match. So since I only had 6 cards, I just was stuck without items.
That sucks.
So I had the 2 items that I had originally gotten that you can spend power to upgrade those specific items. So you could like spend power to get a module for that item that increases your attack speed or whatever. So I had fully upgraded stuff and then had like 35 power extra at the end of the game that I could just not do anything with because it was impossible for me to buy anything. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, this seems super dumb.
I mean, it's something that would be immediately solved by just knowing how to play, but still, like that, it just seems like a bad system in my opinion.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm just curious. Like, how is the in-game like actual tactical mode?
Sure. So the actual playing of the game
is it like 3 lanes, 5v5?
It is. Yeah, it's classic MOBA, like north versus south rather than northeast versus southwest or whatever.
Okay.
But what you're doing is it's essentially there's a jungle and there are 3 lanes that you can go through. I only ever went up the middle lane. I never cared to venture out into the rest of the map.
You're solo mid. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I know
and then there are 2 towers and then an inhibitor and then your core. So it's essentially vertical League of Legends rather than diagonal.
Okay.
The big issue that I've heard about Paragon before and something that I definitely agree with, as a character that shoots stuff, I never felt as if I was shooting stuff fast enough.
That's
like
rough.
I tried to build attack speed in any way that I could, and that's what ended up like dominating like the shit part of that item thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched a stream of it, like, because if you go to Paragon on your PS4 and like scroll down for a second, you can see like popular videos of it. And I was watching a person who was playing a melee character for a minute. And you attack so slow, like it looked like the guy was holding 2 axes, and he'd like attack once, and then attack again.
Jeez, that's the thing I
And
like
then
about
attack a
League of
third
Legends,
time.
honestly, is because like you can like build yourself so that it feels like your character feels.
I mean,
like a completely
I'm
different
sure
character
that's
by the end.
possible, right?
Yeah, I hope
but
so.
starting out the game and stuff, like starting that way, it just doesn't feel very satisfying to actually attack. Plus, if you're playing as ranged character, I feel like you're always at a disadvantage because you have to also be able to aim really well to be able to hit stuff. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the actual playing of the game, if you get past the part where I just didn't feel like I was doing enough at any one point in the game from the beginning to the end, which is normal when you first start a MOBA. That makes sense that you're not aware of all the systems yet, so you can't really maximize to be able to be a really strong hero. Plus, the match that I played, we just kind of stomped them, then it was over. But I was killing the bots, fairly frequently. I was able to figure out what the abilities did pretty frequently. I thought that the controls for a controller were not bad.
Uh-huh.
I didn't learn how to go back until the very end, and then I ended up running back to the base like a new player in a MOBA does. Like 6 times. But to answer the original question, I feel like the actual gameplay is okay. I don't know enough about it yet to make a judgment of if it's actually that great or not, but first impression was that it's just okay.
Would you consider it worthy of being the last thing to show at like a PlayStation Experience press conference?
I wouldn't say... I don't think it's that good.
Like the showstopper, the show ender?
No, I don't think it's that.
Okay.
I think it's a cool-looking game, and
Here
I
we
don't
are.
know enough about it yet. I would never play this game by myself.
Okay.
So that's kind of a big thing.
We're going to get Danny Juarez to play with us.
All right.
I have it. It's
Technically, it's free for everyone.
downloaded to my PlayStation 4, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
It's also, it does that League of Legends thing where there's like a free character rotation, so there were only like 3 choices of what I wanted to play.
Garbage.
Can
I
you
don't
unlock
like
them with in-game currency?
Probably. I didn't. The menus are kind of complicated to figure out. I'm sure that like once you figure out how to it uses a lot of R1 and L1 and L2 and R2 in weird ways. You just have to that's just a get used to it thing. But it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So I was able to play a game, open a card pack after my game because I won a game for the day. You get a card pack. I opened that card pack, felt very underwhelmed by not knowing what any of the shit that I just opened was, and then I closed it. So that was my experience with Paragon.
Works.
But otherwise, it was a good way to waste an hour, I guess.
Mhm.
Other than
enough.
that, this week I think I went over everything. Played some
That's it.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah. You went.
Pokemon Go outside.
You goed.
I went.
I like I saw a tweet that was maybe the best thing anyone said about Pokemon Go, which was that it said Michelle Obama spent 8 years trying to get people outside, and Nintendo did
saw
it
this.
in 24 hours.
Well, I mean, to be
So
fair,
true.
they did it in a pretty much over a year, but they did it.
Yeah, they've been working on Pokemon Go for a little while.
Yeah.
This one's been in the oven, cooking. I think Nabishin fell asleep.
I heard that.
I know he's pretty exhausted from work, so I can't blame
I'm sorry
him.
I put you to sleep, Nabishin.
It's all right.
Congrats on your new job, Nux.
He was snoring into
He
the
was.
microphone,
I super heard that while I was
so
talking.
Yeah, I heard that too. I wasn't sure what it was.
I went and I muted him on Google Hangout.
That's cool. Let a beautiful man sleep.
Yeah, I I ain't trying to take anything away from him. I texted him. I said, "Hey, if you fell asleep, feel free to just call it a night to step out. It's fine." So we'll skip Nabishin for now.
I will read his list. Nabishin has played Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix. He probably thinks it's great. He's played some Inside. He probably thinks that's great. He played some Overwatch. He probably thinks that's just kind of mediocre. He's played some Odin Sphere. Probably thinks that's all right.
He probably loves that actually.
He probably loves Life is Strange still. I don't know why.
Life is Strange with his niece.
Yes, he probably loved that.
That's cool.
Knowing Nabishin, he loved the shit out of that. And then he definitely is enjoying Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE and is probably streaming that.
Yeah, he texted us and said, 10 minutes into this game, I knew it had to be a stream game.
So he's going to stream that shit.
He said he wanted to stream it, and I said, I want to get it and play it and not stream it and keep it all for myself. But I don't know what he meant exactly by that. Maybe it's so ridiculous that he needs to share his reaction with it.
Yeah, I don't know. That is literally that game, even more than Mario Maker, has convinced me that I'm buying a Wii U. And that is insane.
I really want to play it. It looks so good, man.
Yeah, I agree. So hopefully when I get paid again, that is what I will be doing with money.
Yes.
And buying Pokemon Go Pokeballs.
Of course. Gotta restock.
Nah, there's actually no need to do that.
Good. I've been playing just a handful of things. I finished Metroid Prime 3.
Uh-huh.
Which continues my weird adventure of replaying Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I hadn't actually gone through and gone all the way to the end on that game in a while. Good game. It's great. It's weird because I wrote down some notes of things I wanted to talk about on the show. Let me make sure I bring it up so I don't forget anything. Metroid Prime 3 is weird because it's super linear. And the other ones really aren't, especially the first one. I feel like there's a lot of diversity to the places you go in Metroid Prime 1. 3 is very linear. It's very kind of straightforward. There's a lot to do in it, but you're going through corridors pretty much for the most part in that game, which it's very different for Metroid and for Metroid Prime as well. But it's good, I went through, I collected all the garbage in that game, all those missile expansions. And I finished it, so very weird final boss also. I have been obsessed with The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I don't really know why. I don't know what spurred this on, but ever since Breath of the Wild was unveiled.
Game of the generation.
Apparently, according to
say.
one Blessing Jr., and then a last name that is unpronounceable, I'm convinced.
Looks real good though.
It does look real good. Maybe it's too early to say because the game isn't out yet.
Oh yeah. But that's kind of sparked you going back to play Twilight Princess.
Yeah, so I wrote this thing again. It's coming soon to IrrationalPod.com about Twilight Princess and kind of the emptiness of its world, and how Breath of the Wild feels more like a follow up to Twilight Princess, in my opinion, than it is to Skyward Sword. Because they're doing similar things, or at least for their time. And Twilight Princess is a really interesting game that was very, very ambitious, and it's only kind of all the worse for it, retrospectively. But it's a cool game, and I really like it. When I went and played Twilight Princess for Alex Plays Zelda back in 2014. Going back to that game, that was the one that I was like, I like this way more than I thought it would. Whereas like, Majora's Mask I love, and Skyward Sword I knew I'd have more issues with. Like they kind of all met expectations, but Twilight Princess really was a nice surprise. Like that game, especially in the music department, is in a class of its own for sure. But I wrote that one article about Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild, and then I'm also writing another very silly article about fishing in Twilight Princess. That hopefully I'll be able to sell somewhere, but that's been a really fun one to write. It's like I'm writing a fishing journal of like waking up in the morning and going on a fishing adventure in game.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's like part commentary on my life and part commentary on like this weird deep mechanic in Twilight Princess. So it's cool. That's been fun to write. But like all I've been writing about has been Zelda Twilight Princess, really. I'm looking at my notes, and I wrote two things. One, on Sunday I did a cooking show from my kitchen. I don't know if anyone caught that stream. I did a live stream from my kitchen on Sunday.
I tried to, but I was too late.
I made it was like a 25-minute thing. I made wings.
Yeah.
Because I was bored. I was like, hey, if I did this, would anybody watch this? And like a bunch of people were like, yeah, let's do it.
I wish I'd seen it, man.
I think the archive might still be up, and
I will go watch that.
Yeah, I'm debating on putting it on YouTube just for fun. So I posted the archive to like Facebook, and my mom watched it with my grandmother.
Nice.
Which is amazing. And my mom texted me, and like, 'cause I'm reading from the Twitch chat for most of it. She texted me. She's like, "You did a very good job, directing it and responding to the tweets." And I'm like, I was so like humbled by my mother. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little thing. It was also kind of like a test to see if we could do that if we did do it for Extra Life. And suffice to say,
that's a great idea for Extra Life.
Yeah,
Right, because we're doing ice cream, right?
Well, ice cream, and Tony and I are possibly going to do
We're doing a wing off.
A wang off.
And apparently Danny wants to make pasta.
Those are two very different things.
On the grapevine. Yeah, we're doing a wang off.
We're doing a wang off.
We're gonna show our wangs on stream, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, we got donation goals that we're kind of basically workshopping to see like, there's the wheel of pain for Danny. Obviously, we'll spin a wheel and he'll do something terrible to himself.
That's awesome.
And yeah, the cooking show would be definitely one of them. And I talked.
Don't forget the important one.
What? Oh, the League of Legends commentary.
Well, that's not what
I wrote that down. I'm just putting that out there. I want to bring that back. We have to get Tony to play.
Towerfall.
Okay.
Not one.
Yeah, Towerfall for the hot pepper Towerfall thing. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, we were. I was talking to kind of like basically our producer, like our director for Extra Life, who our friend Troll, who has all the equipment and stuff. I'm like, is it possible for us to do a cooking show? He's like, if I have to, I'll run fucking cords all around your house. We're gonna make it happen.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Can I just take a second to like just voice on the podcast how much Troll is like my favorite person?
Yeah, Troll's the best. Like, we adore him for sure. So yeah, he's already planning on coming, which was nice to hear. So I'm like, we have to keep our equipment amount.
He is literally one of my favorite people to talk to at Extra Life. So
yeah, he's always fun, and like, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a good time. The other note I wrote down, because I wrote down two things to talk about on this episode. It was Notice Me Senpai update, which I feel I already touched on.
Yeah,
that game's. I mean, like, it brings me a very sick kind of happiness, like a very disease-ridden joy. It's probably not healthy. It's definitely not healthy. But like, when they added the summer cute anime boy update, they added a whole bunch of like beach themes. So like, there's like a volleyball, right, that they can toss back and forth between two senpais. There's like a stuffed whale that they could sit on. Anyway, game's all right. The only other thing I've been playing is Overwatch, and I just wanted to kind of touch on my Overwatch experience. A lot of competitive. All right, I won
Did you finish your placement yet?
I've won 4 of my placement, lost 6 of them.
Nice.
But
How did you get placed?
I was put at 41.
Hey, that's not bad.
Which is not bad. I didn't think it was bad because I did like in all of the matches except for the first 2, I think, which were like kind of warming up. I did very well, and like I at least had a couple of gold medals in my losing matches, regardless. You were gonna say something, Alex?
Oh yeah, I kind of wish I would have like had a full team for my placement matches.
I soloed all 10 of mine except for 2.
Yeah,
which was me and
I
Cam.
think that's about what I did too. Yeah.
So
I've only now played. Last night I played my first ranked like match with a group of people.
how was that?
It was fun.
I mean, it's supposed to be fun, right? So if it's
Yeah,
not fun, you're doing something.
I really like the format of competitive play. Just like the way those matches play out.
Sure, the longer form of it.
Yeah, the longer form matches, and they're still like at most like 30, 35 minutes. They can go a little bit longer sometimes if you got like a very intense overtime. But it's weird because like I just went all in on Zenyatta. He like became my dude.
He's actually like a lot of people don't like him right now because his orbs are kind of weak. But otherwise, he's a good character. Like there are very good reasons to pick him at times. So.
I like do crazy well with Zenyatta.
He just does a lot of damage, and it's kind of
he does crazy damage. And like, so he's been. I've played 16 of my however many matches of competitive Overwatch.
Let me tell you.
Zenyatta.
Hold on, Watcher GG.
Oh yeah, watch. I have it up right now.
I've been going and looking at my stuff. That's cool.
But yeah, I've played 16 matches with Zenyatta. He's like my most played by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah, your next most played is 2.
Yeah, and
sorry, mine is the same way. So.
It's a 50-50 split on wins and loses with Zenyatta, but I always do well with him.
Yeah.
My KD ratio is like 3.65, which is pretty good for me. So yeah, like it was just the stars aligned, we connected, and like it's because people tend to play so much more aggressively.
Would you say that you were in harmony?
Yeah, I found my harmony for sure. People, in my experience, have been playing like way more aggressively in competitive play. So like Zenyatta just meets that really well.
Sure.
Because he can heal and he can be super aggressive.
And he can throw down.
He can throw down. Especially if you have like Torbjorn and Symmetra on your team, and then you can get armor and shields with Zenyatta, and he actually has like a substantial amount of health.
What I will say to Zenyatta's end is that he's incredibly good against teams that have like a Genji or a Tracer or someone on there that's very like mobile, tries to get out of the way of taking damage, and has very low health. Yeah. So like when I was playing with Sean and everyone else last night, we were playing competitive, and I was healing for the round, and I just counterpicked a Genji and a Tracer with a Zenyatta, and we absolutely turned everything around from that point because that Discord Orb is so dangerous for them. It makes it so 50 damage can kill a Tracer when they have a Discord Orb on them. It's insane.
Yeah, it's like, especially if you're playing attack, like, and they do like a Roadhog Winston combo or like a Roadhog, pretty much any double tank team, like Zenyatta can just turn them into paper mache. It's absurd. Especially if like you're like, I've had a lot of times where it's like me and Soldier 76, I'm Zenyatta, he's just attacking, and I will hit a tank with a Discord Orb, and it's just like they go down in a couple of seconds. Yeah. It's absurd, and it's awesome. It's like, I've been looking at the game very differently from a strategic level with that, and it's been really fun to play because I hadn't really played him since the beta, so him and I just clicked.
He also has some potential buffs coming. Jeff Kaplan on the forums mentioned he's on the board for potential changes. They're gonna wait to see like how things shake out the first season of competitive, but
yeah, I'd be curious.
Nothing but good things for Zenyatta.
I think he could totally be super overpowered if they made him any stronger. But we'll see. He does have very low health. You know, he's 50 health and 100 shields. So,
yeah.
Although you can't chip away at him too much because of his heal.
Yeah.
So You gotta hit them all at once if you want them down.
Yeah, sure. It's cool though because like his ultimate is great for any kind of defense or pushing the payload. Like it's so multi-purpose. So, but yeah, Overwatch, man, that game is phenomenal, and I'm very, very happy with it. I continue to be. How about we take a break, and when we come back, we got a little bit of news to talk about, maybe some voicemails and some listener questions to go through. Remember, if you're like watching live, I know a few people are watching live. If they have any questions for us, and if you're not watching live, either or, you can tweet them at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. We can kind of talk about them at the end of the show. So maybe we got a few of those. I already saw a few from earlier this week, which is cool. I'm glad people are taking the time to send them in, even if it's not the night we're recording. But yeah, we'll take a quick break, and we will be back in just a little bit. Choo, choo, choo.
God, these listeners, am I right? So terrible.
Oh man, yeah.
That's fucked up, man. You're really nice listeners. Thank you to everybody who's watching right now. I love you all. Winky face.
It's just Danny sexting me.
It's just Danny sexting. I mean, except he's sexting both of us.
Oh, is he?
Or is he?
Now I feel cheated on. Fuck you, Danny.
Is he switched to just you?
I don't know.
It's all right.
I can never tell. He's always two-timing me.
Yeah, Danny Juarez, man, two-timer. Oh, let me see what this audio message you sent was, Tony.
I don't know what it was. I think it's 2 seconds of nothing.
Yep. Oh, its speaker's on right now. Oh, very interesting. I have to go use the bathroom, and I'm going to refill my glass of water.
Okay.
Alex, you just want to keep recording through this, and we'll
Sounds good.
resume in a little bit. So I will be right back.
Cool beans.
I was over here doing data entry. You are, Danny. You are the worst type of hoe. That's what he texted me. He's like, I am not a hoe.
So, Pokemon Go.
Yeah?
How to find the Pokemons?
So they will pop up as you're walking around. You have to have the app open.
Right.
But as you're walking around, you kind of can see in nearby. I don't really ever follow that because it's very difficult to track where they are compared to that. But you just kind of walk around. Like I was in the mall, I walk around and stuff just pops up around you, like Pidgeys and Rattatas and all that stuff.
Okay. So you can't see anything that might be around.
You
A
can.
little ways away.
Yeah, you can see it with the nearby feature. Basically, if you look at that, I don't know if you can see anything there right now, but it'll have a number of footsteps next to it, 1 to 3, 0
Right.
to 3. If there's a Pokemon there and it has 0 footsteps, just track that Pokemon and it'll show up in a couple seconds. If you have Pokemon that have like 1 footprint, it basically, if you look at your character, you can see a radius or like a circle
Right.
around you.
Mhm.
The radius of that circle is 1 footprint. So if it's 0, it's from your character to that circle, right? That's why it shows up if you track it. If it's 1, it's an additional circle. So if the circle was twice as large, that's how big the search area is.
Okay.
And if it's 2 footprints, it's another radius added to that, et cetera, up to 3.
Right.
So that's how that works. Basically, the way that I've been catching stuff is near the mall, there's just always someone who's put a lure module on one of the Pokestops, which is an area of interest where you can go to collect some items.
Right.
And then that will bring Pokemon to you there. So you just plug it in and you're good. You just go hang out there and Pokemon will show up. Now you can use incense and that will pull Pokemon that are near you to you. It'll also, I think it's the way that it works is it's just on a timer. Like it's on a 30-minute timer, and the one time that I've used it, it just something happened every like a Pokemon just kind of showed up at least once every 5 minutes. So I got like 6 Pokemon because nothing ever shows up near my house.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think like you walk around, it's gonna look like there's nothing going on if you're not like moving around places, but it'll encourage you to like go check some stuff out. So like next time you're like at school or next time you're etc. like at a public place or like at the supermarket or something, check it out.
Right.
If you see like the bigger things that look like Pokestops near you, then those are gyms, and that's like the more important thing, where you can like battle for stuff. But you have to get to level 5 first, which basically just
So
means you can
will
catch
it
some
look like
stuff.
a block?
What's up?
Will it look kind of like a diamond or a block? Kind of looks like a rhombus from over here.
God, let me look for a rhombus right quick.
It's a rhombozoid.
Pokestops look like little squares, that like blue squares that are floating in the sky.
Okay, so yeah, that's a Pokestop.
That's a
I see over there.
Pokestop, and you can, if they're on the map, you can click on them and it'll show you like what a picture of what's around it, so you can find it. The gyms, they look much more important than that. They're like big like towers that are like upside down, like cylindrical. I don't know what. Wow, I don't know the basic geometry term for like a cone. There we go. It's like upside down cone.
Right. Okay.
And then there will typically be a Pokemon at the top of the cone, and that'll be the Pokemon that you would battle. So it'll be the lowest level Pokemon in the gym, or if it's a level 1 gym, that would be the gym leader's Pokemon.
And if it's a level 2 gym,
Then it's
69.
the person who's not the Pokemon, the gym leader's Pokemon.
69.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
You should be.
I just know that you're not going to like me as much for about 5 minutes after I kidnap you from your house after the show.
It's not happening.
I mean, I'm going to be at your house.
I mean, I'm going to lock my doors.
And then Ethan's going to be like, I want to go.
Ethan's not even home.
He'll be home by the time we're done.
He might. He
I know.
might be home.
I know.
Here's a little bit of... I'll wait for Alex to get back.
Alex is here, though.
Other Alex.
Danny texted me. He was like, I am not a hoe.
He texted both of us that.
Okay.
It also switched you to your email in...
Why? I didn't do anything.
Just go to your settings and make sure it's start conversation or send conversation from your phone number, not your email. Zubat's really CP304.
But I don't have my phone. Start new conversations from or only from either of my 2 email addresses.
Oh, if you are you responding? What are you responding from then?
My messaging app in my phone.
Huh.
Maybe that's. I don't know what happened.
Go to
Whatever.
your messaging settings.
Whatever. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
It still says it's only showing your.
I'm in iMessage settings, right? So messages. Then I look in messages, and then I went to.
Start conversation from.
I went to send and receive in messages.
Yeah, that's.
And then I start new conversations from. Then I have my first email address and my second email address.
And not your phone number.
No.
That's fucked up.
I do have you can be reached by iMessage at, and then I have my phone number, which is unchecked, and I can't check it.
That's fucked up.
And then I have my 2 email addresses.
Cool. Here's a little bit of bonus content for you, Alex. Danny Juarez. Everyone knows Danny Juarez.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find the message. 'Cause Danny does talk a lot in this fucking thread.
He does. Danny, this is not me slamming you. Don't worry.
Oh, you'll see him slamming you.
Stop it.
Let me see. Okay. It's after that. Danny sent Tony and I in our private thread a picture of all the Pokemon he's caught in Pokemon Go, and I said, Jesus fucking Christ. Tony said, I'm still just here with only 1 Pokemon because nothing happens. And I said, I've seen 0 Pokemon save for my starter. Danny said, haha, I've caught all of these on my drive home.
Yeah, right? What the fuck?
I said, Danny, Jesus, don't die. Tony said, while driving, what the fuck? Danny said, I know it was hard.
It was
Oh my gosh.
And I said, Danny, it's not hard to not do it. And the funny thing is, I could so easily in my head imagine Danny saying, I know, it was hard.
Yeah.
in my head, like
Yeah.
in the exact tone that I'm sure he said it in.
Yeah. Which was no
Um,
tone because he typed it.
Because he typed it. Sees a machine, feels nothing.
Yeah.
Guessing Option's still asleep.
Probably.
But that's fine. He'll be here with us in spirit, in his own way. All right, you guys ready to come back with this?
No, never.
All right, cool. What's happening? Just give me a second.
I guess it wasn't happening then.
I gotta pull up
Thanks
the
for
jam.
nothing.
I gotta pull up the jams.
Thanks for nothing.
That's fair. Yeah, see, Alex gets it.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Open up this irrational passion.
We keep
soundboard.
meaning to invite you to play Overwatch with us, Alex, but you
It's
just
fine.
never around.
It's fine.
Just never come in.
If you want to play
Whatever.
Overwatch with me after this, Alex, I would gladly do that instead of going on a walk.
No, you are getting your exercise, Alex O'Neill. I don't care anything about your chronic fatigue syndrome. I'm gonna make you go outside.
It's just like the moonlight burns my skin.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yep, you're a werewolf.
I'm aware, man.
You're aware, Alex.
What you drinking, Alex? What kind of beer?
So I got this. There's a brewery called New Belgium, and I just wanted to try some of their beers. So I got like a variety pack. Not feeling this one too much. It's a tangerine IPA, and I'm not a big IPA fan,
Me either.
but that's all I have in my fridge. So.
Fair enough. If it gets the job done,
Yeah.
it gets the job done.
and
What
it has
job are we trying to
tangerines
do?
in it. So
What?
it's like I'm drinking like a fruit smoothie.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this thing now. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news. How's that sound?
Yeah.
You got to hear it firsthand, Alex.
I
Participant.
know. I know. Let's talk about some news.
News. Evolve. Remember Evolve?
Yep.
Wow.
Game of the generation.
Pretty much.
I mean, that technically is the standing challenge for anyone who wants to be a host.
It's true. Evolve went free to play in some capacity on Steam.
Really?
I don't know. I guess it's just free on Steam now. And
It's either free. Yeah, they did like this big countdown to it. I know, like it was a big thing for them. They had a countdown on their website,
yeah,
and then they're like, "Something's coming."
it's
and
called
everybody's like, "What
Evolve
is it?"
Stage 2.
Yeah, they're like, they literally said, "This, we're doing what you guys told us we should have done the first time." So
It is now free
yeah,
to play.
immediate defeat. I don't know.
I guess I don't know, but they've seen a huge boon in player base since they went free to play, and I think that's cool. I mean, obviously, I think the way Evolve
Curious as
worked.
to how much.
Yeah, the way Evolve
Hold on.
worked was like, hey, you buy characters for this game, and you also buy it up front, and you kind of have to unlock the characters in the game already, but you can pay your way to unlock them right from the get-go. So you get kind of 3 monsters and then 3 of each of the 4 classes, and then they added 2 monsters and 2 of each of the 4 classes. They might have added a third at some point. I don't think so. They had like season 1 and season 2. I got the first season pass with it. All the 4th tier characters are all really cool. I thought very different. But yeah, I don't know. It's Evolve. It was a cool game. I still really liked it for the time that I did play it. Obviously, it became near impossible to either find the time to play it in the very busy year that 2015 was. That 2015? Shit, I don't know.
So yeah, it was. No, was it 2016?
I feel it was It is February 2015. Fuck. 2015,
Wow,
very
nice.
busy year for video games. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff to do. So it became kind of increasingly difficult to find an excuse to get 5 people together and play that game, or 4 people together.
So I'm just looking
yeah.
at some numbers right here. As of 24 hours ago, via this is DSO Gaming is the source. Evolve player base has increased by over 6,000%. And then 10 hours ago, VG 24/7, Evolve's free-to-player count increases by 25,000%.
Wow. I mean, it's hard to go from like 16 to like 1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
So those numbers
Good for them.
could be like flubbed a little because the player base was so small. But yeah,
Yeah.
good for them. That's cool.
I like Evolve. I play it. Like every now
Yeah,
and
I liked it
very
as well.
rarely.
It was. I think it didn't do enough different in the end.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit too repetitive. If I had to
And I-
lodge one complaint against it, but I really liked what it was going for.
And I think coming off of Left 4 Dead, like they had very high expectations to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Just Turtle Rock did, and they did fail to do that, But I have fun with the game when I play it.
Yeah. Jarrett and Jacob and I, the previous editors of IrrationalPassions.com, we all joke about going back one day, but never happened. We tweeted about it as soon as it was announced it was free to play. I guess it's free to play on PC only right now.
Yeah.
But I imagine it could go free to play on console at some point as well.
Yeah, you'd think they wouldn't want to maintain two separate payment systems for that game. They want it to be uniform eventually.
They could also just drop support on console and kind of focus it as a PC game.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure who added these news stories. It might have been Nobshin. But he just wrote here, Pokemon Go takes over the world.
I wrote that.
Oh, you did? Okay. It's true. Pokemon Go has taken over the world. It's a phenomenon.
Literally every person at my work.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's not just like people at work, but it's like all of Twitter, trending topics on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook memes, which is, Facebook is basically just a factory to churn out memes at this point. It's just turned to all Pokemon Go, like the one where it's like a Snorlax and it says, "Hey, why don't you come?" or "Can't, Snorlax is blocking the road." And it's just people are going crazy for this. I don't know, like it is a crazy thing because everyone loves Pokemon Go, right? And I think a big part of that is it's only the original 150 Pokemon, right?
Sure. I think if it was not them, then there would be like way too many.
Yeah, so like it is. When they announced it and they announced like that's what it was, we kind of commended them because it is a direct play at like our generation and it's a play on nostalgia and it's very well done.
When you think about it logically, what is the generation that has the means to play this game in a meaningful way right now?
Yeah, right. Although there are plenty of kids out there with smartphones and all that.
There certainly are, but they don't have the means, except for their parents, to go and do this.
Yeah.
Where they couldn't go to a lake like the three of us are going to after this, and just walk around in the middle of it's any random fucking day.
It's not happening.
So I think that it's smart to do it the way that they've done it.
Yeah, and like I said, like even me, I've been I've had it for 2 days, and I'm literally on Craigslist right now.
What?
Looking for
What?
like DSs and stuff, And
I'm
they
looking
just
for
really,
Pokemon
start
on
going-
Craigslist.
I'm looking for Pokemon casual encounters.
Raichu, R for M, Raichu for male. Seeking a
No, but like
encounter.
they've struck this chord with me and a lot of other people, and it's what I'm scared about is when businesses start paying to become Pokestops, and then they start laying down modules, so people start coming to their stores, and then they're
corrupt
you
government
have
takes
to-
over.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is a cool thing. I don't know, there are a few things that the entire video game industry, but also the internet included, reacts to kind of as a group. And sometimes it's really fun. Sometimes it's bad news, sure, but sometimes something comes out and everybody loves it. And Pokemon Go is absolutely one of those things. I don't know, it's a funny thing that everybody kind of gets. When I was on Twitter, when posting for some people in the App Store, and they were that feel when Austin Creed was that feel when Pokemon Go is not up on the App Store yet, and he's just posting a bunch of memes. It's everyone was so highly anticipating this, and even if maybe the product's not that deep or that crazy, everyone's having a good time with it. So,
Yep.
except for the servers are going down because the entire world is trying to play this game.
Yeah.
I can't, I totally can't blame them for the server problems because I've never seen more people excited about a fucking mobile game. But it's cool. Top of the App Store charts, top of the Google Play charts, all over the place.
I bet it's one of the top grossing now too.
Yeah, I would bet.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky went gold.
Yeah.
Which means
It is, by the way, #1 top grossing in the App Store.
Yep.
Beat out Clash of Clans and Mobile Strike.
That's impressive. It beat out Game
Really,
of
though.
War.
Fire Age.
But yeah, so No Man's Sky is now printed to disc, or it is printing to disc, to ship to retail, to come out in August.
Yep.
Which is cool. Hello Games posted, Sean Murray posted from Hello Games on Twitter, just a picture of them holding the first printed disc of No Man's Sky. And it's just like the whole team in the picture.
I should tweet it and be like, I want that one.
Yeah, I want that one. Review request for that one. It's just, it's the whole team there. It's like, 15 people or whatever, like super excited about it. And like I tweeted out, like one of the best parts about this game is kind of like this story of like this super humble, small team of developers like Hello Games, which had made like, as far as I know, just Joe Dirt, just like the one game, went from like this small team to this phenomenon themselves.
By the way, I love the fact that you said Joe Dirt.
Yeah,
Joe
not
Danger.
Joe Danger.
But
Joe Dirt is
I
a
can
different
really
thing.
appreciate Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt, the video game, also known as Joe Danger. But no, yeah, Joe Danger, which was like a very different thing than No Man's Sky, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe, Joe Danger and Joe Danger 2, the movie, were the only other games that they had ever made. And that was back when they were like 4 people. And like a big thing about it was, like Sony didn't fund any of the game itself. They just funded the marketing and the publishing of it. And that was like a big thing of like, hey, we want to only work on this game internally. I think maybe some of the online stuff they might have had some help from Sony on, but it was all Hello Games that made that game, and it was all Hello Games that like paid for that game as well. And it's printed to disc, and it's happening. The game is going to come out, and yeah, it's been a really cool journey to see them go from this little studio that not many people knew about to like this one of like the biggest names. Because of like how impressive that game was, just visually and presentationally.
So apart from like I'm sorry, Tony. Go ahead.
Did somebody like attack a Pokemon gym? Because I hear a lot of police.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Is that me?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel you would know.
That crime. It's the crime scene.
Yeah.
It's like a mile away. They're still there.
There you go.
As far as like apart from their really cool story as a studio, how are you guys feeling on the actual game? Are you still excited, or are you just kind of like,
I'm still excited.
I'm just gonna wait?
I'm definitely like, the hype level has gone down since that initial announcement, right?
Well, of course, yeah.
Just because like you've had time to ruminate on it. But like I'm still
Still coming out on PC, right?
Yeah. PC and PS4. August 9th, I believe. I'm still really interested in it. That's still a game I feel like I could appropriately get lost in, right? Because there still hasn't been anything like it scale-wise, sure, but also in the exploration genre and survival genre, there's been nothing that is that kind of open-ended. Like a big thing that holds back a lot of those games is just surface area, right? You can just go to all the corners of the map eventually. And like you get the things like Minecraft where it's randomly generated or whatever, but this is like there's so much, and there will always be like a new place to go to, even if it is like kind of the same building blocks as the places you've seen before. So even as somebody who's not super into that genre of game, I'm really excited to play it.
I think personally, it's gonna be
go ahead.
like one of those games where you like it's like zen. Like I might not play it for like 40 hours straight when it comes out, but 2 years later, it has a good chance to be like, I just want to go and explore and play for a night, maybe once every couple months. And I think it has that lasting appeal, at least for me.
Yeah, for sure. And it's weird knowing that there is like a goal in that game. I wonder, because the internet is the internet, like how much of a race to the finish some people will have with that, like getting to the center of the galaxy, and like how quickly someone will get there, and how quickly what that secret is will be out there, is interesting to me. But we'll see. I sent an email about getting a review copy of that game. Just I doubt we would get it just because I know so many people are going to be requesting for it, but just to take a shot.
Yeah.
That game looks cool. It's going to happen. It's going to come out, and maybe it'll actually deliver on the promise it made of just being something that is super huge. So, Red Dead 2, Red Dead Redemption. It says Red Dead 2, which is true, but I would call it Red Dead Redemption. Sales spike 6,000% due to it's now backwards compatible on Xbox One.
It's pretty cool.
Which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
people
was like
asking for
the.
that one.
I mean, 6,000% is a
good.
large number, but then again, how big was the number that the 6,000%?
It probably wasn't selling
was
much
gonna
before,
find?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
But still, I always enjoy like when these come back to back compat. Just it feels like a mini launch again, and for those games like Red Dead where you have a lot of memories attached, it's just kind of a nice feeling, seeing everybody really excited about it, and it's cool that there's a bunch of sales.
yeah. I don't know. I never played Red Dead. I never really got into it. And I had the story completely ruined for me before I even touched the game. So, I never had any interest in playing it. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, hopefully it's an indicator to Rockstar that maybe they should just go ahead and announce that new Red Dead game that they're clearly almost definitely working on. Like,
Yes.
I have zero doubts that
I
that's
think we've had map leaks,
yeah, right. Like
all sorts of stuff.
all leaks, but like even if that stuff is kind of harder to get out of like a very tight-lipped studio like Rockstar, like I have no doubt that that's what they're working on.
Oh yeah.
What is it, Tony?
Nothing. I'm looking at the Pokemon Go Reddit,
Yeah.
and there's a picture of, it says, go to a lake, they said. There will be water Pokemon, they said. And it's just a guy who's standing with nothing around him but water, and nearby is just one Pidgey.
Yep. I've seen that very same picture.
It's good stuff.
The only other thing that I guess somebody wrote down here is Counter-Strike Go ?
I think Nobshin might have written that in, maybe about the.
Yeah, I know what he's
the
talking
whole-
about.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we want to get into it, but
Yeah.
just top level. So there are skins in Counter-Strike Go. I guess weapon skins, player skins, etc., etc. That people started entire gambling websites about to get.
Yeah, this is a whole thing.
So basically, you can gamble your skin to get better skins feasibly.
This has been something that has been happening for a long time, not just with Counter-Strike, it also happened in Dota 2.
Yeah.
Where you could bet items, and then your items all have inherent value because there's a marketplace that people will buy and sell the stuff on, and then you can bet them, and if you win, then you get more items. So
Yeah, so and that's all well and good. I mean, this has kind of been going on forever. Like Steam essentially has a system that can facilitate it as well, with kind of like cosmetic tradings and stuff like that. Again, all this value is Steam cash money value. So I guess that's what technically makes the gambling not illegal because it's not real money. Just like gambling with bitcoins isn't necessarily illegal. But so like there was a big some kind of bet on some website against like high value, let's say, and somebody won that ended up being the owner of the website. So it was just kind of like rigged from the word go, from what I understand.
Yeah, they were, and I don't, just to maintain that surface level detail, it's essentially like they were also making videos of them winning and post and like seeing like, look how much money I earned on this website.
Yeah, this
Isn't this
website that I
great?
just found.
Yeah.
That like they actually started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it
super
was kind of like
sketch.
just gross all around.
Yeah.
Apparently, this secondary market moved $2.3 billion in 2015 alone.
yeah.
Wow. Big money.
Yeah, big money. So that just goes to show like how many people are using this and like the value of the stuff that they're putting up. So it's crazy, but like yeah, just to touch on it, like I'm not super invested in it, and it's like a totally crazy thing that happened in video games, where it's like this kind of stuff happened in like movies and other industries. I feel like a long time ago, but now it's happened to video games, and that means the government's probably going to try and figure out a way to not let illegal stuff happen.
Just be smart with your money and Much where you're gambling your CS:GO skins.
Yeah, if you're gambling something that's thousands of dollars, maybe maybe don't. Like that's my personal recommendation. Like maybe walk away, but I don't know. Do the legwork, do the research,
Yeah.
get to know stuff. That's it for news, though. I don't have anything else. Definitely been slower. We're still coming off.
Everyone's
E3.
too busy playing Pokemon Go to write
Everyone's
news.
too busy in playing
To do
Pokemon Go.
anything.
We are in the dry heat of, or very not dry heat. It's definitely a wet heat of the summer going on right now. So not a lot of news, not a lot of games, just a lot of.
I didn't write this down, but shout out to Microsoft. They're implementing end-game wheelchairs for disabled players to be able to further customize their
avatars. Yeah,
cool.
Except
Yeah,
the wheelchairs kind of look bad, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
It's
good
a
on
cool thing. We have some other Microsoft stuff that we'll get to in the tweets. I'll check the email one more time, but we're gonna go right into the mail sack. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email us, you can call us, and you can tweet at us. Any of those ways will get your question right on the show, as long as it's not super crazy inappropriate or something. So let me see. I don't know if we got a voicemail from Silver PR. We might have, but I genuinely don't know.
I don't know either.
Do you guys want to fill time for a second while I see if this... All right, well, we didn't, so...
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, I pulled up. We did get a voicemail from our good friend Harold, though. Harold Price. So let's see what Harold had to say.
Hey, peeps. This is Harold here. Two things. First, I'd like to apologize.
Okay.
I don't know what for, but considering it's so long that you guys have asked me to be on the show, I would assume I had said or done something to piss one of you guys off, and I just want to clear the air and say I am sorry.
Oh, you didn't do anything wrong, Harold. We still love you.
Okay. 2, PSA. This coming week, 2 games that I've been looking forward to might slip most people's radar, but of course, on Tuesday, except on Xbox One when it's coming Friday, I believe, Tumblestone. I played this game at PAX East 2015.
Tumblestone. I've heard of this.
It was awesome, and I would imagine it was over a year, probably more like 15 months to work on it. It's got to be even more awesome. And it's also Games with Gold game this month
cool.
on Xbox One. Also coming to all 3 PlayStation platforms, Wii U, and Steam.
Okay.
And Thursday, the mobile port of H-Bomb and Friends 2015 Game of the Year, The Guild of Dungeoneering.
Oh,
is
yeah.
coming. I've actually played the beta, and you guys are going to want to try this one out.
Yeah,
I
you played
don't
that
know
too,
the pricing, but yeah. Highly recommended. Anyway, that's it. H out.
Thanks, Harold, for the voice. Those are 2 good call-outs. Tumblestone and Guild of Dungeoneering. You played Guild of Dungeoneering, Tony. A little bit of it.
Yes, I did. I don't think I played a lot of it. It didn't leave a super major impression on me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, because just from what you talked about on the show a while ago, it sounds like a mobile platform would be good for that. Sounds cool.
Tumblestone, I had seen on the Games with Gold. We mentioned in PPR. I was just I had no idea what it was. So I'm glad that he called in, and I was as soon as he started talking about seeing it at PAX. I think Harold said it won a bunch of PAX East Indie Showcase, Best of PAX winner, all sorts of cool accolades. So
Yeah, I
check that out.
remember hearing about it, but I don't remember ever seeing it in front of me. But yeah, hearing the Games with Gold, that's awesome. Yeah, we love you, Harold. You have nothing to apologize for, winky face. No Silver PR voicemail, so let's get right into the tweets. Remember, you can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. We got one from Joey Malone, which is a great name, at most ADD, most ad. He says, what other comic character would you like to see a game made for, and what studio do you give it to? That's a good question. Any answers?
So, yeah. I'm trying to think of who I want.
Okay.
So, I've always wanted. So, as far as like a game that's coming out, Injustice: Gods Among Us or Injustice 2, I really want them to put Static in the game. I feel like
Static
he's
Shock?
a really cool. Yeah, Static Shock. I don't know. I think that'd be super cool. He can come and teach us about racism in America again.
Yo,
Like,
Static
he can
Shock
play
is
Dak
amazing.
Reynolds. Yes, it's, like seriously. But I really like the more mature like comic book variety of Static, and I think it'd be super cool in a game. But I would love to see like just like a random game be made from like something from like Image Comics. Like I really like it just came out. What was it? Probably mid fall 2015. Paper Girls. It's this game set and it takes place. The comic takes place on Halloween. That's when it starts, and it's like in the 80s. And these girls are the only girls that are part of like a paper route, and it's essentially their story and how they like encounter like this weird like supernatural force. And it's a really cool comic series, and I think it'd be a pretty sweet little indie game or something.
Did you ever play The Wolf Among Us?
I haven't. I've not played it, to be honest.
You should give it a shot. That's a great comic book video game.
Yeah.
Telltale's The Wolf Among Us. I think it's their best game that they've ever made. So,
Oh, really? It's in my library. I haven't played it.
yeah, I like Walking Dead Season 1 is great. Wolf Among Us is more provocative in a lot of ways.
And then,
Deeper,
sorry.
yeah. No, go ahead.
And then just lastly, I think Saga would be a cool video game adaptation. It'd be like everybody's heard of Saga. I think it'd just be a fun game.
Who would you want to make it? That's the tough part of the question.
Yeah. So I'd want it to be like I think like Visceral. I think like when I think of Saga, I think of like Star Wars 1313 kind of deal. But I don't know, maybe a little more stylized. I think somebody like that would be cool, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. That's a hard part of the question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Scott?
somebody just, you know.
Yeah. Somebody like that.
I don't particularly have one.
You don't have one?
No.
No. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because they're making a Spider-Man game, right?
Right.
That's the one.
They've already done it. They've already done it. They've already done Spider-Man. They've already done Batman. They've already I don't think a Flash game's going to be good.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a really hard game to make.
That's just going to be a difficult game to make.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so essentially it doesn't really matter who you're going to give it to. It's probably not going to be good.
Yeah. It'd just be hard to manage like that, the powers of that. I feel like you can have really good combat in a Flash game, but like the actual game part of it, like what do you do? Like what do you?
Right.
What is that game?
What do?
Yeah, what do?
Yeah, no.
Nothing but time trials.
Yeah, I would love to see. This is like not my actual answer, just like a thought I just had. But like a Conan game made by Monolith, the guys that made the Lord of the Rings game, Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, here we go. Here's one.
Because I feel like that system would apply really well to like
Green Lantern,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo.
What kind of Nintendo studio? Like a Zelda Nintendo studio? A Mario Galaxy Nintendo studio?
I'm gonna have to go with the Mario Galaxy one.
Yeah, that could be alright. They could do Space
Good
Good.
choice. Yeah.
Right, because they can do space good. They have the right controllers for it. Think about it. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work so well as a game,
Mm-hmm.
unless it was like it would pretty much be a shovelware game otherwise, because
Is that like
how
the
the Green
gamepad?
Hour. No, pretty much because of how his powers work.
So you would pick the power like from the gamepad and then.
No, the gamepad is how you would make it.
Oh, like yeah, you draw it. Okay, like kind of like
Something like
Wonderful
that.
101.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
There's a comic. Sorry, keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Go
Is
ahead.
it a comic book? Go ahead.
Yeah, comic book. So there's a comic book. It's not like a superhero comic book, so it's not necessarily a character, but a cast of characters. It's called We Stand on Guard, and it's kind of like Canada versus the U.S., and there's like this giant war that's going on. And I think like something like Infinity Ward would be like super cool to like just make like a different spin. It could be like a first-person shooter, but just having that story where it's like this push and pull between Canada, and there's all sorts of like ambush attacks, and it's like giant like robot mechs like walk the earth, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds alright. Another one that's not like my actual answer, but CD Projekt Red could probably make a really good Walking Dead video game. So I feel like they can make a world that's really compelling and interesting, and they could write that game well. Whereas, like, I think the biggest part about the Walking Dead TV show that makes it garbage is that it's just very not well. It's not well written. Like the characters aren't well formed, in my opinion. So like, if you like, hey, pick an open world studio to make an open world Walking Dead video game that's an action game, but like with really really compelling writing and also compelling gameplay, give it to CD Projekt Red for sure. Tony, do you have an answer for this?
I don't really read a lot of comic books, so I guess not.
Okay, fair enough. My answer is it's gonna be like, hey man, let Rocksteady make a Superman game. Like, if anyone could figure out how to do it, I feel like Rocksteady could at least give one of the best shots, right? Yeah. Like they did Batman so well, and they focused in on the parts of Batman that are compelling and interesting, right? Like his detective work and kind of like using stealth as a mechanic, but also like he can beat the shit out of dudes real well. So, like, they did all of what makes Batman a fun character. I feel like you could... And they wrote those games really well. So, like, if you wanted somebody to write a good Superman story, I feel like Rocksteady could do it. Also. Let Max Landis... write that game. Because then he would not be as super powerful, right? He'd be a little bit more balanced.
More human.
Yeah, more human. And I don't know, like you could have that game be very different for Rocksteady, like have it take place over multiple days and whatnot. Thank you, Joey Malone. That's a really good question.
Yeah,
appreciate it. Gerard Weish, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Wyche. Which, maybe?
Which?
Wyke at Gerard. That's JERRAD. _ with nothing after it says, your opinions on the supposed trade-in program Microsoft is orchestrating for Project Scorpio? Big deal? ? So I want to bring this up now because we got that question about it. But yeah, so Microsoft said, hey, we've worked with retail partners in the past. I had a news story up before. I think it was Phil Spencer saying it directly. But he's like, hey, we've worked with retailers in the past to kind of like you trade in your console and you kind of get the newer version of it. Like people could trade in their 360s to get their 360 Slim for a good deal. He's like, we're definitely looking at that for this Scorpio.
I think that would like really help to lessen the blow of like this what a lot of people see as like a mid-cycle iteration.
Refresh.
You know,
Yeah.
It would really help with the sting. You know, it's like, okay, well they're throwing me a bone here. You know, it's not like they're not throwing me to wolves and saying, all right, drop another $500 or $600, $700 for this console that you don't necessarily need.
Okay. I have the direct quote here from Dave McCarthy at Microsoft. He said, some of our retail partners today do trade-in programs, and that's definitely going to be partnerships we continue to move going forward, he told the Daily Star. He said, we want to make that transition as smooth as possible, end quote. Yeah, that's good. I think that's a really good thing. It's funny, right? Because still, it continues to be like Sony hasn't even like really addressed this, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they've announced the Neo now, but they still haven't like publicly talked about it, and the rumors are still circulating out there that hey, like they're gonna announce and release that this year still. Like the Neo is gonna come out this fall still. Like that's still what people think is actually gonna happen. Which I think that's possible. I imagine they'll try and pull like an Apple move where it's like, here we're gonna unveil this product and it's available for pre-order next week and it comes out the week after that. Like it sounds like if they're actually gonna launch that this year, that's what they're gonna do. Because that's the only way to do it. But Microsoft, again, just kind of ahead of the curve. They've got the conversation going. Like a big thing that Phil Spencer said on the Giant Bomb like post shows, which was really great. That's a great interview if you want to go like look that up. Was like, hey, you know, a big part of it was like starting the conversation. He didn't actually say those words, even though I'm gonna keep like meriting them to him. But because that was like my big E3 prediction. Is like a big part of it was like letting our developers know and our partners know like the specs and like what they're working with, so they can start getting ready for this launch in 2017. And I'm like, that's so good. Yeah, right. Like, because I heard rumors or like not rumors, but talk that there were plenty of people at E3 that were like, yeah, we didn't know the PlayStation Neo specs until Giant Bomb leaked them, but now we know them and now we can work with them. Even though that thing is real and it's out there. So, like, part of, like, announcing it and just saying it is you can start preparing people for it. And now they can say, hey, yeah, we're going to work with retailers to maybe do a trading program. So people
Isn't that kind of a weird thing to say?
What?
Until Giant Bomb leaked to them?
Yeah. That's a weird thing. Well, it's because Giant Bomb broke that news story.
Right, I know. But I just think that that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in this context, it was like they were saying that 2 members of Giant Bomb.
Right,
and that's where I would have heard it from, which is on their post show stuff. Yeah, like that's a weird thing. That's not how it should be for developers, right? If they are going to be able to make versions of their games for these new kind of mid-tier consoles, they should be able to have the specs and not have to wait for them to leak.
Yeah.
But here we are. So yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's smart. I'm sure Sony's going to try and do something similar to it. But again, because they're talking about it first, they're kind of winning points in that regard. The only other thing we got was from @Cameron Abbott. @Unsexiest Comedy. He says, I'm currently using canned air to keep my phone from exploding while I use my incense. The hook is real. I believe he's talking about Pokemon Go.
Yes.
That's disgusting. Let me make sure nothing else came through here.
Can't wait till like trading and all that is here,
Yeah.
It'll just take it to the next level.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the questions. Apparently, we did get another voicemail, though. I was told.
Really?
Yeah. Don't know who it's from. God, heaven knows. But I guess we're gonna find out what this person. It's Danny Juarez. I'll just say it's Danny Juarez. Let's see what he has to say. Oh, it's a short one too.
What up, Irrational Passions? Shout out to my dude Scott and Navashin, because I hate Alex and I hate Tony.
All right, fair.
Sup, my dude?
Just calling to ask a question. Just the idea of all of us are nerds. We're all into video games. We all want to break into the industry. If you weren't going to break into the industry, if you went into that, what career field would you want to be? Would you want to go into, or did you ever dream of going into? That's my question for the show. You've been listening to Danny Juarez. The baby.
Jesus.
Thanks for that. It also says like the Google Translate thing, like voice of text, says Danny Morris at the end, which is just it's really funny to me.
What a Danny
so
Morris.
If you weren't trying to be into the video games industry, which I think some of us are not, what career path would you take? Not all at once. I don't know what you do for a living, Alex. So I don't know if like video games is where you want to be. But
Man, I'd love to be. So I would love to be in the video game industry, but honestly, anything creative would be kind of like my answer. And video games, I love, and I love writing about and talking about, and so that's a natural thing for me. But if that was off the table, I would love to be like graphic designer. I mean, I mix in and record musicians on the side, so I love doing that kind of thing. But that's if I could like take that full time, it'd be awesome. But during the day, I don't want to name my company, but I work for a vendor, like a third party vendor in the mortgage industry, and we work for like big clients that you know of, like big banks, and that's kind of what I do during the day. But my passions certainly lie within the creative realm. Like I'm sure a lot of ours do. But yeah, so anything really creative. I'm just kind of like doing work and seeing what happens.
Yeah, you make music, and it's good music. I can
Oh,
attest to
thanks.
that.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an oceanographer.
Cool. When I
So
was a
there's
kid, I
that.
wanted to be a photographer.
That's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, if
You're-
I
that-
was
very
Take
realistic.
pictures of stuff. Yeah.
if I was not in the video game industry, I would be a doctor.
Really.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is like my other passion. I guess that was like my passion. Like that's what I was going to do before I decided to get into journalism. It'd be probably very difficult to switch at this point. I'd probably have to kind of like re-go through a lot of school, or I'm still working on my bachelor's, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's probably what I would do if I had the time. Because like if I didn't do all the video game industry related stuff that I do in a week, like that's like 50, 60 hours of my week is like working on stuff, writing and a lot of that, and like polishing and emailing and keeping up to date with that. Like if I took all that out of my week, out of my life, and just had my day job, playing video games as a pastime, all my free time I would put towards like medicine and researching that. And
Is it the aspect of helping people that appeals to you with that,
For
or
sure,
like
yeah.
science based?
it's a little bit of the science. Like I love biology, but it's mostly the helping people. Like I considered when I was getting into it, like just being a biologist, which would also be super interesting, because biology is kind of my favorite field of study.
Mm-hmm.
But like medicine kind of appealed to me more because of the human aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I would probably still like do musical stuff and some fiction writing on the side, just because I like doing those things.
Yeah. That's cool.
Scott?
I mean, still studying to be a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty specifically into contracting. Contracting into what? I'm not too particularly picky.
Mm-hmm. Whatever the contract dictates, right?
Pretty much. Because with that, it's if you go into doing that, you could get a job from pretty much doing anything.
Yeah.
So you do have a lot of specific contractors out there. Like you have your defense contractors, you have people who solely do back-end website stuff, but you do have a ton of other just generals out there
Mm-hmm.
as well. That somebody has a job, they go to one of these guys for it.
Okay.
So I'd work there.
I'm into it. Tony?
Let's see. Well, currently I am studying audio video engineering with an aim to work in live production for video games.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was not going for that, then I'll probably work in that field because I really like live production. So I don't know, like other things I would potentially consider, like broadcasting on like live TV, that kind of stuff. But if it wasn't live, like I don't know, like movie editing, TV show editing, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Audio stuff, I don't know. I haven't really gotten into that kind of stuff yet, so I'm just not sure where I shake out on that in that field. But that's kind of where I'm at.
Cool. Yeah. I like it. If you have if you're listening to this, and you're like, I'm trying to be in the video game industry, send us at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ. Let us know what your aspirations outside of that would be. I'd love to hear some. We can talk
Danny.
about I don't really care if Danny sends in his.
Danny just asked me. Danny just asked who my favorite band or musician is, using the IPQ hashtag.
Yeah.
Ben Howard is my favorite songwriter, and then band-wise, probably Thrice.
Never heard of either.
California.
So, cool.
Oh, they're amazing.
Okay. I
That's
believe
it.
you. Yeah, send them in to @IrrationalPod on Twitter, and we'll read them next week. You can be part of the show just like we kind of like listed off there. The email address is mailsack@irrationalpatch.com. Send us your emails. We'll read your questions or comments or stories or whatever here on the show, as long as we have something to say about them. Voicemail is 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees do apply. Harold and Danny both called in using that. And like I said, you can tweet us @IrrationalPod is our Twitter handle for the show with the hashtag IPQ. You can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm @AlFighter27, which spells just like it sounds. Scott is @WUTTEHCHUZ. What to chuz. Nobishin, who stepped out a little bit ago, if you hadn't noticed, is at NABESHIN 186. That's Nobishin 186. Tony's at Tony Horvath, all one word. And Alex, you are at It's Van Aken.
Yep. ITSVANAKEN.
There you go.
Some
other stuff.
last name.
Oh, yeah. That's your last name. Your hyphen that's invisible.
Yeah, exactly.
Some other stuff. Rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us out a great deal. Go to VGUvo.com. Check out the podcast network there that we are a part of. And check out Malicious Pod X. There was a new episode of that happened. It's on YouTube. We'll, like I said, working on the iTunes part of things. We stream over at twitch.tv/IrrationalPassions, and we got videos going up on youtube.com/IrrationalPassions. Still working on Let's Play stuff. It's just, I've been very busy with writing and stuff recently. And tell your friends. Word of mouth's the best way to spread the love. And for everything Irrational Passions, irrationalpassions.com and teespring.com/IPP2 to buy our new t-shirt, which is pretty cool. There should be an ad insert for that somewhere in the middle of the show during our break or something, just to inform you of where to get it. So that's it. Alex, where can people hear more of you on the internet?
Yeah, I do podcasts at pixelpulseradio.com. I write the occasional article over there. I'm also on okbeast.com. I've been a part of their Overwatch series, and that's been fun, but that's pretty much it. Pixelpulseradio.com. It's kind of where everything is. So
Cool.
pretty easy.
You have the sickest cover art for a podcast I think I've ever seen.
Thanks, man. My stepdad, who is my co-host, he made that. So
Yeah. Was it the
Props
number
to him.
one stepdad
yeah, the
and
number
son
one. Yeah, exactly.
podcast?
Number
on
one
the internet?
stepfather, son. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, just I've told you this like a dozen times of just how sick that cover art is, but every time, because I'm looking at your website right now, it's right there on the side. I'm like, God damn, just the chrome on it and the purple.
Oh, I came up with some horrendous ideas, and then he sent that, and I was like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, screw all the garbage that I was about to say.
Yep.
So yeah, check that out. Absolutely. Like I said, I was on. Have you had like any other guests on?
Yeah, so we've had like Sean Pitts on before, back earlier in the year. We just had Chase Williams from Hellfire Games on. He's an associate producer down there. They're working on Big City Stories. And then our last episode went up yesterday. As of this live hangout recording, we had a guy named Charlie McCarran. He's a podcaster with Composer Quest, which is they kind of interview composers like Grant. I can't remember his last name. Yeah, Grant Kirkhope, N64 stuff. So we had him on the show, and he's gone on a big world tour to interview composers, and we just kind of interviewed him about that and like fundraising on Kickstarter, all sorts of stuff. So that's the newest episode. But yeah,
awesome.
we've had some cool guests.
Cool. I like it. So go check that out. That's it. That's the whole show. Where we've come to the end, the close here. Thank you all so much for listening. I love and appreciate all of you. Alex, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time.
Thanks for the invite. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Got plenty of awesome guests coming up that I hope to be at least equally as awesome as Alex here.
I hope they're better than me.
You
Pretty
were,
low bar.
You were fine. You were lovely, I would say.
Oh, thank you.
I would agree too.
Tony, chime in.
Tony's nothing to say.
God damn it.
I refuse.
Yeah. And so we got a guest planned for the next 7 episodes. So our
Pretty cool.
highway to episode 300.
Man, not allowed to be late anymore.
By the way, congrats on 6 years. That's really impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool.
I'm at episode 34, and I'm like, What? I can't imagine like 6 years of it. So
Yeah, I
congrats to you
mean,
guys.
that's like the thing I get most of all is like, oh man, how long have you guys been doing this? And like, I definitely meet like a lot of people that are very new to podcasts and stuff, and they kind of expect answers of like, yeah, like a few months, like maybe a year. I'm like, yeah, 6
Yeah.
years. And like, what? That is more than half a decade, my
Yeah.
friend. Yeah, that's cool. It's a cool thing. Thank you, Scott and Tony and Nabashin, for joining me. As always, I love you all. Winky face.
Winky face.
Winky face. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of Two Player Co-op. And our closing music of The World is Saved. You should go check him out. DannyWiesner.bandcamp.com. He's really, really cool and really good. And that's it. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles?
Titles. So you want to keep recording, Alex, for just a little bit longer. So we got like a first half of the show titles, and
Good.
we want to add
We
more.
already know which one's going to win. So.
Okay.
All right, so there's A Sizzy. Was it a Weedle? AP Ass Point. You'll know. There's Pokemon Gang Wars. First I stole your gym, then I stole your girl. Either they kill them, or fucked up Persona waifu diss.
What is that from?
Well, I mean, we all know it's either going to be Pokemon Gang Wars or First I Stole Your Gym, then I stole.
I think it has to be Pokemon Gang Wars.
That's what I was going for.
I like that one.
Yeah, that one's like too appropriate to this whole show. So, Alex, what I want you to do is, if you could, say you're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 285. When you're ready, and who wants to say the title?
Scott does.
All right, I'm doing it.
Pokemon Game Wars. You know what to do. You'll know 285. What? Tony, what are you doing? What are you?
I didn't type
That's
any of
name.
that.
I just wanted to remember the number. I have bad attention span.
It's okay. It's in the top left corner.
I like how you immediately think I'm doing stuff.
It was
Listen.
blue, so I assumed, yeah. I assumed it was you. Whenever you're ready, Alex.
Irrational Pod.
Irrational
Podcast?
Passions Podcast.
Whatever you want to say, man.
Okay.
It doesn't actually matter.
You know, it's free form art.
All right, let me just flow.
Okay.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 285.
Pokemon Gang Wars.
Gold Team rules!
Yeah, I had nothing. I'm going to get something.
What are you talking about? You had the best thing right under it. You
Fair
had the
enough.
best thing right under it.
First, I stole your gym, then I stole your girl. All right, you can stop recording now.
I already did.
Cool. To our Google Hangout viewers, thanks. I love you all.
All right, bye.